Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Welcome back to the AR Wrestling Podcast. I'm Alex. This is my co-host Ryan,
What up?
and we bring
What's
to you our
good?
Raw and Smackdown review from this week. So sit back, relax, and always enjoy.
What a
But
fucking banger of a week.
this was, and there's a lot of news that broke this week too. First we saw that it's for sure true that Ricochet is not coming back. I believe this is how they wrote him off TV 100%. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
With that dog done wrecked him. Breaker done killed his ass. There's a lot of death on WWE TVs recently.
Yeah, and he had a lot of like injuries, but they were like all upper body. Majority of them were, if not all of them,
Are they all
upper
legit?
body. Yeah, all legit injuries.
Damn. Breaker fucked him up.
Mm-hmm.
They were
So I
like,
think
yeah,
Ricochet's
you know
gonna go
how...
to AEW, and we're gonna see him with or fight Will Ospreay.
Oh my god. My brain can't even wrap around that. That'd be fucking awesome. Dude, I'm gonna miss Ricochet in WWE, but I think it's the best move for him personally. He wasn't doing anything honestly in WWE anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think that'll. I mean, we'll see how it goes in AEW, but based on what I know and based on what I've seen recently from AEW, I don't think he's gonna become like their next world champion or anything. But I think he's definitely gonna get a pretty good spot on their roster.
gotcha.
Hell yes, I believe in Ricochet though. When he's just gonna go bet on himself. But you know who else I believe in, Alex?
I believe in Joe
Leave Joe
Hendry.
Hendry. Oh my gosh. This is just a fun little news fucking story thing. TNA star Joe Hendry showed up on fucking NXT. I'm sure everybody already knows about this, but like this is just awesome. Another step in the TNA like WWE I almost said rivalry, but
Like
it's not a
direction,
rivalry. It's a
like
it's a
partnership.
partnership, yeah. And just happy to see Joe Hendry. That was
That
literally more
was
like it. I think his debut was like became the most viewed WWE video on their YouTube since WrestleMania happened. So like, let's go, Joe Hendry.
he's been blowing up all over social media. Like even
Uh,
before this appearance, he's been like all I see is the social media is just blood being like it's his theme says I believe in Joe Hendry, and it's everybody like the comments they're saying like they believe in Joe Hendry and all that,
his
and
song
it's really
topped like
funny.
UK top 10 charts. I'm pretty sure his
Mm-hmm.
single song did. He's a pretty big dude. I don't personally. I haven't kept up with him at all. I don't keep up with TNA or anything that happens like a lot of stuff that happens outside of AEW or WWE. But I've heard Joe Hendry's name quite a few times, and hopefully he actually gets a predominant spot and gets some shit like actually given to him.
Agreed.
We believe in Joe Hendry.
We do believe in Joe Hendry, but we also it's confirmed. I don't know when this was, but not really confirmed. It was like Undertaker was talking with Chris Van Fleet, and he said he wants one more match, but he also knows that he's done. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like he's done. He's called it quits. WrestleMania 40 was his closure.
Oh yeah, good closure for him.
But
Love the dead man.
if he had one more match, who would you want it to be against?
Oh my god. Oh, it would have to. I wouldn't personally for me now. It wouldn't have be something like an actual like WrestleMania. Don't put on the boots and the gloves and go out in front of like 60,000 people at WrestleMania. I would do something similar to the Boneyard match that they did with AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting because I think in his interview, didn't he mention Gunther or someone like that?
I think so.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking nuts. But fucking A.
No one else
Dominic.
wants one more match.
I'd want to be Dominic.
Same. Just same. He's been the luckiest man on the planet.
He's had too much good things happen to him these past few months. He needs to get wrecked by the Undertaker.
Agreed. You also know who else wants one more match?
Who else?
Bill Goldberg. I am not too fond of this at all.
he's mentioned that he wants to have an actual retirement tour or a retirement match, something like that, to where something similar to how Sting got his send off in AEW. I'm sure he
Yeah,
wants
but
something similar.
Goldberg doesn't deserve the send off as Sting did. I'm so sorry. Goldberg
Yeah,
has ruined too much, and he's only done it for just a paycheck. He hasn't actually like his last good work was when WCW. I don't think he did anything good in WWE at all, even in his first stint.
I think that the only good thing from Goldberg's WWE stint, the second WWE stint, not the first one, was the like 2 minute match he had with Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series,
Yeah, probably
where he
the
just
only.
smashed his ass.
Yeah, like how are
My
you gonna
that
let an
was
old ass man destroy Brock Lesnar like that?
I thought it was pretty good, but that was probably my favorite thing that Goldberg's done since he like brought himself into WWE. I guess I haven't watched WCW and stuff like that. I'm young. Fuck y'all.
Yeah,
And but I mean, like give him a send off at least, and then just keep him the fuck away from everything else. He did
yeah,
ruin. He had a hand in ruining Bray Wyatt's storyline with the Fiend. Although you can say that was WWE creative for putting him in that, but Goldberg was the guy that was fucking smashing his ass.
yeah.
And
There was
shit.
no reason. That was as soon as the Fiend character was taking off too, and it was so.
Fucking yeah. He had everything with the Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. That was awful.
That was god awful.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad things with Goldberg, but I think a send off is appropriate for him. He was a legendary WCW guy, but it should not be another guy that we're going to be talking about in this, Ryback, who said he
Yeah,
wants to be the guy to fight Goldberg. What
so
the
Las
fuck?
Vegas is a hell of a place to get retired in.
Fuck no. Get Ryback out of here. I would give Goldberg maybe. I don't think Goldberg will end up in AEW for a retirement run just because of the fact that he's kind of like trashed them in the past. But
Yeah,
I'm not totally against it. Give him at least one more
I
match
mean,
and make him
anything
go
is
away
possible.
forever. Make him go away forever after that.
Anything's possible.
No. Last one I think we have to be catching up on is Kayla Braxton is going to be apparently leaving WWE, and her last appearance is 6/28 on Friday Night SmackDown.
Next Friday or this coming episode, this our next episode that we're going to be recording, we'll be
Mm-hmm.
covering that SmackDown.
Yep.
So
So
we'll
goodbye
see how that
to
goes.
Kayla. Great,
Yeah, she's
great backstage personnel. Great
yes,
interviewer as
very good
well.
backstage
She had
personnel
that
too.
great relate. I almost said relationship kind of interactions with Paul Heyman and stuff like that. Always,
Mm-hmm.
those are always fun.
Yes. Then we all heard about Chad Gable. We thought he was shot dead. Thought he killed. Thought they were just dead.
Should
Nah,
be dead.
he actually was medically cleared. There's more to that though, but it has nothing really to do with Gable. It has really more to do with Adam Pearce. And when we get to that, we will go over that a little bit more with him being medically cleared and everything. So, I mean, that's all I got for the news, Ron. You got anything?
Got nothing else to cover for those stories. Let's dive right into Raw.
So, the massacre. It kind of hinted all night long. First, the intro video that we seen from an old QR code glitched out when you saw Sister Abigail or the Veiled Bride or whoever in the video, and then it glitched out, and we've seen the together forever, together forever, like repeated a bunch of times. So let's move in. I'm just gonna move right into segments. Who the fuck opens Raw? Seth freaking Rollins.
Rollins.
Bro, it's fucking Monday Night Rollins, dude.
Let's go. He's back.
He's back. I'm so happy. So he comes out and he's trying to get a word. He can't hear before he even starts talking. Like the crowd just goes crazy. So he holds up the mic, and the crowd's going crazy, singing his song. Pat and Michael are going along with it, along with the crowd on commentary. And when you panned out, or when the camera panned out, we saw the Money in the Bank briefcases above Rollins, which my first original thought was, he's going to declare for Money in the Bank and probably win it, which turns out he would declare himself. But as I was scrolling through X and watching, or as I was watching Raw, there was a figure-esque, like a figure type of Uncle Howdy that was kind of seen in the staircase, and Rollins was a rival of the Fiend. I just want to point that out.
It was, yeah.
But as he starts his promo, as always, he goes, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins."
Yeah.
I fucking loved that shit.
I missed having Seth.
I did too.
So
Seth
happy to have him back.
has been missed. Yes, thank you for coming back, Seth. We miss you dearly. Basically, he wanted to introduce tonight's host. He is a visionary. He is a revolutionary. He is Seth freaking
Rollins.
And he's basically, cutting the promo saying he's back for one reason, and he's back for the championship that he made in the World Heavyweight Championship, which technically, yeah, I can agree with the statement because this is actually a whole different title than when they brought the WCW World Championship over and declared that as the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
Now it's different.
Just because it's modeled off of it doesn't mean it's the same belt.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, like I just said, he would declare himself for the Money in the Bank. But Damian Priest would come out. His music hits, and he literally, not sarcastically, wanted to welcome Seth back. And he was like, dude, when I had my Money in the Bank briefcase, I preferred to actually cash in on you out of respect. And basically what he meant by that was like, he felt like if he would have cashed in on Seth, it would have meant a lot more than what he did when he did it on Drew in reality. He felt because Rollins is more respected than Drew, as in I'm assuming like locker room personnel, Drew's actually pretty cool. But like obviously in the character, obviously Drew's just a bitch at this point.
Yeah, right. Fuck Drew at this point.
Yeah. Basically, like I said, basically felt like the women meant more. But he was like, Rollins, this isn't Monday Night Rollins anymore. It's all right, it's for El Campeon. And Rollins is kind of talking. He goes, we both made our names and teams, Damien, with you, with Judgment Day, me with the greatest of all time, The Shield.
Damn straight.
I was kind of happy he dropped that. To be honest.
Bro. Me too. I was so happy he name dropped The Shield. He goes, we're the greatest faction of all time. Because damn it, they fucking are. I'll fight anybody. The Shield was the best faction ever.
Agreed. If I had to put like a top 5 of factions, it would be Shield, Four Horsemen, DX. Honestly, it's kind of underrated. Team Hell No. And well, no, that's not really a faction. Hold on. You know what? I don't know the last two, but those would definitely be in my top 3. Like I was just saying.
I think for factions, I'd be like, I'll only name 3 since you named 3. Top 3 for me would be 1 is the Shield, like I just said. 2 is the Bloodline, and 3 probably DX.
Yeah, I'm saying mine are in no specific order.
Suck it!
Yeah. Suck it!
Suck it! Still do that shit.
Going back to the promo, Seth and Damian both won their first world title at Mania, and they are the only 2 people in WWE history to cash in at WrestleMania. Which,
crazy enough, it was like kind of a cool way that this lined up. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good.
It was kind of cool how it lined up with Seth cashing in the main event of one, and Damian cashing in the opener of his.
I agree with that. Where are we at here? Seth was like, what kind of champion do you want to be? Because, like Damian brought up, he goes, I was actually your first world title defense. And he was like, since you didn't properly get your rematch, I want to offer you the rematch. I want you at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Damian kind of get a little flustered. He goes, do you want a shot at my world title or not? And Rollins is like, oh shit, he ain't playing. So Rollins accepts. And as long as Rollins is around, Monday Night Raw will always be Monday Night Rollins.
Damn straight.
But I do want to point out 8 years ago was the last time he had knee surgery, and Rollins was out. But when he came back, he got a title shot at Money in the Bank and won.
Wasn't that the same money? I think so. I think it's the same Money in the Bank that all the Shield members held the title in the same night.
I think so.
Maybe. I could be wrong. That could be another year. I know it happened at Money in the Bank. I don't know if it was that year, though.
Mm-hmm. So then we move into the backstage with Adam Pearce on the phone. This is not the segment just yet. We'll get there. Don't worry. So Adam Pearce is on the phone. Alpha Academy walks in, and Chad is basically shitting on the Alpha Academy right in front of Adam Pearce. And Chad was demanding a rematch for the IC title. And Pearce is like, dude, you lost it a shit ton of times. So get in the back of the line. And he was basically like, okay, I'm going to find someone worthy of Chad Gable. And Pearce had the perfect opponent. I predicted Braun Breaker.
I wish.
Pretty damn close.
Dude, I wish.
Pretty damn close. Let's move us into Chad Gable's match. He walked in with the Alpha Academy, and who is he with?
Braun! That's awesome. It's so cool.
Maxine is now with the crutch after what happened at Clash of the Castle. And I just need to know, why does Otis always fucking pull? He's pulled Mandy Rose and Maxine Dupree.
You know why the fuck Otis pulls Mandy Rose and Maxine Dupree, and Dominic Mysterio pulls Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley? Like, what the fuck? WWE, what the hell? This don't add up.
Yeah,
this shit don't add up. You got dudes on there like Roman Reigns, like fucking Randy Orton. You got Cody Rhodes, and Dominic and Otis are pulling.
For real.
This is wild.
I was kind of wanting to see something with Uncle Howdy and Braun Strowman's entrance, but Pat McAfee, as always, goes, look at that thing. That is one big son of a bitch.
That's so cool.
Moves starting our match. Go ahead.
No. You're good. You got it.
I'll say Chad Gable would attempt a suplex on Braun, but he couldn't, and Strowman begins tossing around like a little fucking ragdoll. Chad will lock in some weird armbar at the ropes and start shitting on Alpha Academy and start mouthing off to Strowman, and he would actually end up knocking him outside with a chop. And then we go to commercial comeback. Strowman throws Gable to the outside and chases him until Gable would end up throwing Tozawa in the way, and Strowman in response would grab Tozawa and threw him at Gable and threw Gable back in the ring for a running power slam for the win. I noticed a lot out of this. Braun screamed at the Alpha Academy, Gable's a bully. You shouldn't have to listen to him. And Braun, like I said, like we were just describing the match, Braun absolutely bodied the fuck out of Gable.
Straight up, dude.
Braun basically screamed at Gable as well. Why would you do this? You know I hate bullies. Which Chad Gable is kind of a reoccurring theme throughout this Monday Night Raw, ironically, when it's usually the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. Gable would like mouth off to the Alpha Academy, and then he, like I said, he would get absolutely bitched. Braun almost ran over to Zawa, and after the match, though, Gable was in the ring again, looking pissed at the Alpha Academy, and Gable demanded them in the ring, and we'd get "You Suck" chants very similar to Kurt Angle. He would demand for Tozawa to go to him. He started shoving him around and everything, and Maxine would then get in the way, and then Gable would snatch her crutch and just throw it out of the ring, and Gable would end up slapping Tozawa after Maxine got helped out of the ring, and Otis sees Tozawa on the ground, and dude, he looked at Gable and fucking threw him. Dude,
let's go, Otis! Shitless. Let's go, Otis!
Otis!
Oh my god, this is awesome.
Gable was absolutely scared out of his mind, and as the Alpha Academy is walking up the ramp, they look back and they just leave. Like, and Gable would just absolutely throw a fit in the ring. So this is when we get to the Judgment Day.
I
And
was gonna
no, go
add
ahead,
something
go ahead,
real
go
quick to that. I was
ahead.
really hoping that this was like, so this is obviously like Otis turned on Gable, kind of, not fully. There's more on it later, but like
Yeah.
I was really fucking like, I just wanted Otis to body this man,
Dude, I wish he
but
would.
I really
That was
like,
so fucking hilarious.
right? But I also like, I like how they're kind of really taking it slow and taking their time with this story, where like Otis had every right to kind of just wreck this fucking fool right
Oh,
then
of
and there. But
course.
then you even saw it on Chad Gable's face when he was in the corner and Otis kind of like left him. He kind of just got this like shit-eating grin on his face. Like, I knew Otis wasn't actually going to hurt me. So like, in a sense, I would kind of like to see, well, we see more with Chad Gable definitely later on in the show, like you just mentioned. So I'll add on more to this later, but I
Right.
kind of like how what they're doing with this, like a lot. It's slowly becoming like my favorite story on Raw.
Right. I agree to that. We move into now Pat McAfee doing a play-by-play on the segments from Judgment Day from last week. And sorry, he made it perfectly fucking clear that Finn took it. He took the key card. Made it perfectly clear. And so this would move us into Judgment Day into their locker room. And they're basically talking about the Braun Strowman issue. And that Finn comes up to Priest and he's like, hey, I know Rollins. I got your back. But Damian was like, I don't want to talk about that right now. What the hell's going on with this key card? And Finn started getting a little defensive and everything. And Damian thinks that Finn is, acting a little funny because of this whole thing. And Finn pauses. He was like, yeah, I'm doing it to protect Dom. This is what it is. I'm doing it to protect Dom. It's thrown away. Don't worry about it. And now they're talking about Finn winning his match, going on to Money in the Bank, and winning it. And Damian goes, as champion, I need to know, who are you going to cash in on? And Finn pauses, looks at Damian. He goes, I'm cash in on Cody, which I kind of think is still setting little seeds for this storyline.
Yeah, he definitely was putting some hesitation behind that answer when he was talking to Priest.
Yes. And when they were talking, if you looked in the bottom corner as Judgment Day and everybody walked in, Dominic's freaking out. He can't find his purple cow vest. And Carlito kind of cracks a joke about, Dom in the hotel room and everything. And Dominic's like, dude, that's not funny. Like, whatever. Like, and Damon's like, don't you got a match to, prepare for? Which would basically have Damien ask Finn after everybody walked out. He goes, you talk to Rhea? And Finn's like, I'm staying way out of it. It's not, but that's not my cup of tea. That is not for me.
Hell no, better.
I think it was
well out of that one.
I want to know if Finn's basically taking all the hits for Dominic until Rhea gets back, so Rhea can actually absolutely fuck over Liv and win her title back.
I know exactly what this is. I think Balor is, in my opinion, I think Balor is playing Hitman for Dominic. Well, not Hitman. Hitman that's kind of wrong terminology.
Wingman?
But he's fall guy / wingman, yeah, for Dominic, where he's taking all the heat for this, so that Dominic can slide around in the back while no one actually knows what he's really doing.
I feel like Dominic's actually toying with Liv because
he retweeted that fucking Father's Day post or whatever she put. There's no shot he's not in on it.
And then at a live event, she said, "I'm wearing the shirt for you, Daddy Dom. I hope you like it." I was
Daddy
like,
Dom.
"No,
God damn it! I hate that. That's the phrase now."
I do too.
God damn it!
This would now move us into our first Money in the Bank qualifiers of the night. It'd be the women's match: Io Sky versus Zelina Vega versus Kiana James. I kind of noticed Zelina did have a fresh tat on her leg, which she had it all. Yeah, she had it all like the I forget what it is, like laminated up. It's like a certain like a band. It's like a quote unquote like bandage almost.
Yeah, like kind of like the Saran wrap. I know what you mean.
Yep. Basically, all three of them pop off for a fat second. Io starts hitting knees and moonsaults, and Zelina, in response, hits a Meteora to the outside, which we end up going to commercial. And as soon as we get back, as the cameras are cutting back to Zelina, Io would hit a double suplex onto Kiana in an attempt on the both of them, in an attempt to double or a pin. Io would slip a code red and ends up hitting a backbreaker. Kiana ends up bringing herself into the match with a pair of shoulder tackles and a powerbomb. All three of them end up going ham with kicks and pins attempts. And basically, we are hearing, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Zelina would end up getting the better of it all until Io would hit her with the the missile drop kick. Zelina would stop and over the moonsault with the 619 to the knees, and would end up hits a code red to Io, but Kiana stops the pin at 2. And who the fuck shows up? Liv Morgan in Dom's purple cow vest.
Shit.
Zelina's actually gets distracted by this, so Kiana ends up knocking her down with a knee before Io ended up drilling her with a meteor and over the moonsault for the win, giving Io the chance to qualify. Which I'm kind of interested to see how they do this, because Io could win it again and cash in again.
100%. I love the fact that Io is in Money in the Bank. You always want to have somebody like Io in Money in the Bank who's just going to fly like crazy. I'm super excited for this.
Agreed.
I'm glad to see that she was in it. I was really upset. Not upset. That's really an overstatement. Really not happy with the fact that Kiana James has come up from NXT, had I think one match and a couple of conversations with Adam Pearce, and then she gets pinned. I don't think it's a burial of Kiana James. Obviously, they can still do stuff with her, but not the biggest fan of seeing that happen to her.
No,
but
me neither.
All in all, pretty good. I'm pretty excited to see Io in Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Not my pick to win, though.
Not my pick to win the women's either. We then see a promo video about Braun Breaker's match and attack from, I believe it was last week, which would then lead us into Sami Zayn coming out, cutting a promo, and basically this whole thing with Chad Gable started because Sami beat him in a wrestling match, and remember where it was? It was in Montreal. But Sami's moving on from Chad Gable, and he said he would be lying if he said he wouldn't miss the Alpha Academy. And he kind of brings up his history with the Bloodline and how Otis is dealing with that in the Alpha Academy. And he wants to defend the IC title against anyone and everyone. And then, whose music hits? Music hits. And,
oh yeah, baby.
Did you write that down? Was he talking about a dog, or was that me?
Was he talking about a dog? I think Braun Breaker said that in his thing.
Yeah,
in his promo. I didn't put it down.
It's been 6 days. But I was thinking Ricochet return and challenge Breaker, but now that we know Ricochet's not returning, it's not possible. But Braun wants the IC title, and Sami would end up raising it to him, and Sami goes, "Is this what you want?"
Give him the belt.
Whose music hits? Boom! Sheamus's music hits. And as Sheamus is walking out, he goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Sami, my friend, my fellow Ginger Ninja." I was like, time out. What?
I was like, hold up, bro. You need to be careful with that.
I don't think we can say that on TV.
I don't even think that's PG.
I don't even think that's PG at all. And Sheamus is basically chasing the IC title after putting on banger after banger after banger. And he thinks that Sami should consider him And basically he'll do anything to just handle that title. And Braun's like, you're standing in my way, and I'm gonna kick your ass too. Sheamus is like, dude, you're the new kid, so get the back of the line breaker before I make you. And Sam is like, dude, I can go talk to Pierce for a 1v1 tonight if you want. Which we ended up getting.
Yeah, thank you, Sami Zayn.
But I have more of a question on this. What are your thoughts on a fatal four-way match for the IC title? We have Sammy, the champion, versus Sheamus, versus Braun Breaker, and kind of a little hot take of a pick, but at the same time not, Ludwig Kaiser.
After what we see later on in the Sheamus and Braun Breaker match, I think that's 1000% like, oh my god, give me it now. Give it to me at SummerSlam, and I will probably cry. Pure tears of joy will come out of my eyes as I watch this match happen. Oh my god,
man!
Yes, 1000%. I want it.
Oh, agreed. This would open us into a Dragon Lee promo. He brought up the incident with Carlito, WrestleMania, and he basically called Carlito a coward. And this would actually get us almost ready for our next match. But we'd actually have the new tag team champions, the Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn. Just basically a recap from Clash of the Castle. And Jackie Revan's with them. Alba Fire is like, dude, this is a dream come true. Isla Dawn is saying the hard work starts now, and we will defend against anyone. And then, probably the two lamest women's stars we have right now, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark walk in, and they bring up the Jade Tap, like we talked about, and how you and I talked about last episode with it possibly being an academic tap or whatever it may be. And Zoe's wanting the gold. But if you looked further back, we saw a Pluto symbol in the background. And I was looking at all of this, and I noticed something. That with almost every single thing we see for this Uncle Howdy massacre that was supposed to happen, something is related to those superstars. And I couldn't find anything about Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, to be honest.
Interesting.
Maybe they have history with Nikki Cross. I don't know. But
we do have. Go ahead. We'll get into that one more when we talk about the Wyatts.
Yeah. Then we went on going to a match with we seen Dragon Lee with Rey Mysterio and Joaquin Wilde versus Carlito with Dominic and JD McDonough because Finn was getting ready for his match.
Fucking McDonough.
But Alicia Taylor ended up taking over for Samantha this week because I think she's like vacation or something. Excuse me. And we would see Dragon Lee start popping off with a Hurricane Rana and more when they both ended up on the outside of the ring. And Carlito would start to take control. Carlito would distract himself by talking shit to Rey and is giving Hurricane Rana to the floor off the apron by Dragon Lee. We'd end up cutting to commercial. And Dragon Lee and Carlito go back and forth, trading a knee and a German suplex from Dragon and a neck breaker from Carlito. Again, who the fuck shows up? Liv Morgan and Dom's Vest. And Liv would end up getting attacked by Zelina, starting a brawl between the Judgment Day and the LWO. And McDonough was able to pull Dragon Lee's leg off the rope, allowing Carlito to hit him with a backstabber for the win. I felt like this was more just a filler match for the whole thing with Dom and Liv.
1000% was.
I think this isn't really doing any justice for Rey and Carlito.
No, I think it's
see them in a match.
I think it might start leading to something along the lines of how, like, just like how JD, just like they're doing with Carlito, it's going to lead to maybe Dominic or Finn potentially dropping a hint at like, hey, Liv Morgan is helping us win a lot of titles. Maybe we should consider her for the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to drop a hint like that off the back of this, honestly, to further that storyline along.
I got you. But with Liv, more or less, like I said, she came out in Dom's Vest, And Liv starts to get all up on Dom, and this is when, like I said, Zelina would attack Liv, and basically Joaquin Wild and Ray would end up getting both of their shots on Dominic as the match will go on as the brawl went on. And again, there might have been an Uncle Howdy figure seen in the staircase, possibly during Carlito's entrance, but the only history I found between Rey Mysterio and the Wyatt family Bray Wyatt was that him and the Wyatt family had a match like 10 years ago. It was like a 3v3. I forget who was on the match.
Oh, interesting. Maybe they could go after the LWO.
Yes.
As a faction that they could absolutely murder.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Give the LWO some life into this fucking company.
Fuck, dude, if they go tangle with the Wyatts, you ain't gonna be giving them life, you're giving them death.
Real.
You're shot in the head.
Real.
I was to see fucking Ray get executed.
Yeah. We would then cut to Drew walking backstage, and then Uncle Howdy glitch started taking over. Kind of just more or less, again,
this one was intense.
Showing the massacre. I didn't actually look at anything with Drew. I would assume there's past maybe at the World Championship at some point with him and Bray, or like him and the Fiend.
I don't think there was anything either. But like, dude, like I mentioned, like this one was fucking intense. Like the entire time that Drew was walking, it was basically glitching for like a solid like 30 fucking seconds long.
Agreed. It was insane.
I think it was all like the Veiled Nun. I think that's the character's name. The Veiled Nun was like basically the one showing up in these glitches too on Drew's face, basically.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. They're here.
They're here. Then we'd end up cutting backstage to the Alpha Academy packing up. And Chad Gable starts coming bitching. And Gable's like, we're family. You don't leave. Like really shitty. Like, and Otis looks at him and he goes, we're done. And Gable says, I'm going to do something big. I'm going to win Money in the Bank. And like cash in and win the world title. Then you'll see your sorry asses actually need me. Chad Gable goes to Money in the Bank and somehow wins it. I don't know how I feel. I really don't.
First of all, my entire belief system in life and death would be shattered.
Yes. I agree.
But in reality, I actually wouldn't be upset by that in one bit, having Gable win Money in the Bank. I don't think it'll happen. I think this is kind of where I wanted to get to, where I wanted to add more into the Chad Gable storyline thing that I was talking about earlier, where now that they've kind of like left Gable, I think that, especially with what happens to Gable later on in the show, this is going to kind of tie back in to where the Alpha Academy are going to eventually go back to Gable in a Stockholm Syndrome kind of storyline, where Gable is like, you guys left me and look what fucking happened to me. Like, you guys walked away and I got shot in the fucking head. Like, assholes. And so we're going to see the Alpha Academy kind of feel bad for leaving Gable like that and just rejoin his side because of what happened there. And then eventually slow burn it to Otis just beating the shit out of Gable and Perk Academy.
Yes.
Because I'm still holding out for that.
The entire WWE universe is holding out right now.
I want that so bad.
During this, though, it cut to a certain point. There was a white rabbit in the red shoe behind Otis in a locker when they were all talking backstage. And White Rabbit being obviously Ramblin' Rabbit from the Firefly Funhouse. And the Wyatt family have wrestled the Alpha Academy in the past. So maybe even with that Stockholm Syndrome, now that he got attacked, maybe they come back and then we see a storyline a storyline that could help boost the Alpha Academy. Or he brings in the new Alpha Academy and brings in Perk Academy, and we go from there.
To go after the Wyatts?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I think that'd be really, maybe like him going after the Wyatts again would be adding on even to the storyline of him and the Alpha Cat, how he just won't stop pushing them and won't stop abusing them. Basically, it will tie in because I think it was it was a little bit ago where we kind of talked about how the Wyatts should go to the Alpha Academy, Otis, Maxine, and to Zawa and be like, leave Gable, we can save you, as a kind of way to tempt them away from Gable to join their side, like a cult following sort of thing.
Yes, I like that.
And then or on the complete other side of that spectrum, we could have Gable, like you said, like Alpha Academy comes back to him in the Stockholm Syndrome kind of way, and then he's like, guys, we have to go after the Wyatt family no matter what. Remember how he's always saying that? And then throughout the weeks, we're going to see the Wyatt family absolutely wreck these fools. And by the end of it, it's going to lead to Tozawa basically being completely written off of TV because he's so hurt. Maxine basically in the hospital because of what Nikki Cross does to her. Otis basically on crutches at this point. And meanwhile, Gable will be completely fine because he doesn't want to fight the Wyatts. Look what they did to him already. And then that leads to the Alpha Academy leaving him. That could potentially happen too.
I like that. Okay. So we would then move into Drew McIntyre's promo. He would come out, and he was end up fined for a stunt that he pulled at Clash at the Castle. I think it was either putting hands on the ref, which would be CM Punk, or it was freaking out and flipping the fuck out like Rollins did at Survivor Series, but instead in Glasgow.
It'd be so funny if he really did get fined for putting his hands onto the official when the official was CM Punk and CM Punk's not even the real official. Add on to that storyline. It'd be so funny.
Agreed. As he was out here, though, CM Punk chants would erupt, and he's kind of choked up, and he's just sitting there, not saying anything for a second. He goes, "Screw this company, I quit," and he just cut to commercial. Okay, thanks, Drew. Didn't know you were leaving. You just signed it through. I don't know how long your contract was. I forget. You just signed a contract, and now you're leaving.
Yeah, right.
I kind of like how they're playing this, though, which I'll get into more after. This. We would come back from commercial, and the camera ends up following Pierce, or they would go as a recap, and it said the camera followed Pierce and Drew in the back, and Pierce is trying to talk some sense into Drew, and Triple H would end up pushing the camera away, and Triple H is trying to talk some sense into him, and Drew's like pissed. He goes, "No, I don't want any. I'm done with it. This is bullshit. I'm fucking done." And he's like, "I want to talk to you in my office," talking to Drew, and I forgot who said it, but shit. Honestly, this obsession with Punk has gone too far. He's let it screw his entire career.
Yeah, he's completely messing it up. Like, dude's gone crazy now because of CM Punk. But I think this was like a really short, like almost nothing segment. I don't want to say nothing because it was actually pretty important.
Yeah.
Based on compared to the Drew storyline and surprisingly the Wyatt Six story, like the debut of them. Because not only did this give an excuse for Adam Pearce to not be in the building anymore, it gave an excuse for Triple H to not be in the building anymore, but it also gave us an excuse to see Gorilla position before anything chaotic happened to it, with all the full staffed people working at their desks and shit.
Yeah, the massacre that we'll get into.
Which was fucking awesome. Which we didn't even know at the time was a teaser of the massacre. This whole Drew segment was, I guess, kind of a teaser for this whole Wyatt Six debut and how it was going to happen. But none of us obviously knew it. I thought it was freaking awesome.
I didn't think about that. Huh. So now we move into Damage Control versus Katana Chance and Caden Carter. And basically, Damage Control would attack them as soon as the bell rang and single out Katana Chance before getting the tag to Carter, who would hit a splash to the outside. Damage Control would take control. Again, as Kyrie would hit an insane elbow to Carter, but Chance stopped the pin at 2, and Lyra Valkyria would end up showing up to cheer on Carter, and Chance would distract Dakota Kai long enough for the party of the summer to hit the after party for the W.
Big dubs.
And I kind of think this is a good way to help bring back Katana Chance and Kaden Carter and put him back on TV.
Damn straight. I think so too, because you and me mentioned it a couple of weeks ago how we wanted them back on TV and want them back in the tag title scene. At least I want them back in the tag title scene.
Yes, please, dude. They're
Please.
such a good team.
Hell yeah.
They add something different to the women's division.
Seriously, they really do. Like, there really is not a team on the roster like them. They are freaking awesome.
Agreed. Then we would, I would believe, cutting to commercial. Come back. Damage Control is backstage, and Io's like, hold on.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Io's like, Damage Control has to change, or I'll change things myself. And in the background, on one of the shelves, there was a Huskus the Pig scene. And the history that I found out with that was Io and Alexa actually do have history over the world title. So obviously that kind of helps with that theory.
Yeah. Everything's starting to get tied in. I love the fact that these little characters are on the background of the promos. I didn't even notice them when the show was happening.
But, I didn't either, but I tried paying attention.
Looking back on it,
as soon as I started noticing
awesome.
It. Yes. So now
I got one more question real quick before you move on. Sorry. I should have said this. You think this is maybe we see Io be the one to break up Damage Control and go and get some new lackeys of her own? Maybe ditch Kyrie and ditch Dakota?
Maybe.
We also got. At least I never want to forget Asuka's in this too. She's out
That's
injured
what I'm saying.
with her knee right now.
That's why I say I don't know, because of Asuka.
So I'm curious to see where she's going to tie in all of this, if that does happen to be a direction they decide to go.
Agreed. So then, the match. All right, we've all been waiting for. No, I'm just kidding. Sami Zayn.
This is the match I've been waiting for. Oh, baby!
Sheamus versus Braun Breaker.
Big man, Shaka Man, me. I think this is a feud that I know for a fact I predicted this as a full-blown feud. This is just a match, not a feud. But I wanted this to be Braun Breaker's first feud when he got up to the main roster. So I'm so excited to see this as a match.
We'd see Sami Zayn ringside. And Pat McAfee during Sheamus' entrance, as always. It's fight night! During Sheamus' entrance, he loves Sheamus. We all love Sheamus, the vet in the business. 15 years coming up. Braun Breaker, in his entrance, was actually smiling. Kind of like, all right, I'm going to tear this dude apart. And to start the match, there's lots of pushing and shoving. Both spill out of the ring and start trading heavy shots. And we ended up getting back in the ring, and Braun would end up countering an Irish curse backbreaker with a crazy ass clothesline, throwing Sheamus around and to the outside. Braun ended up leaping like a fucking animal from the ring apron all the way to the announce table just to clothesline Sheamus, and both would end up going over the announce table.
Bro, if Sheamus wasn't there, he would have cleared the announce table.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He was
built different.
That jump was probably the highlight of the match, and that shows the versatility of Braun Breaker. Oh man, we ended up cutting to commercial and going back to the live stream. Sheamus will not stay down as Braun Breaker keeps popping off. Braun ended up slipping off the top rope, who went attempting a Frankensteiner, but both of them fell. Sheamus was able to recover with the white noise. Sheamus ended up countering a spear with a knee to the face and hits the 10 beats of the Badgerin. And then who comes in? Ludwig Kaiser, stopping Sheamus from hitting a bro kick, causing him to attack Sheamus, hitting a DQ. Yeah, like I said, I asked earlier, do we see the Fatal 4-Way at some point between these four? Sheamus, Braun, Ludwig, and Sami. Because Sami wanted him to get in a fight too. Breaker would end up spearing Sheamus outside of the ring. He'd end up walking away. And then Breaker and Sami would have a quick little stare down. And as Kaiser gets up, he sees Sheamus weak after he gets fucked up. and Kaiser starts attacking Sheamus and his bad knee. And then they both start going up the ramp, and they run the opposite sides of the ring. So Kaiser on the left, Braun on the right. And Kaiser thinks, oh, I'm going to go in for Sheamus. Little does he know, Braun's running around the other side to fuck him up. And he spears the absolute hell out of Kaiser. And Breakker wants Sammy. And he ends up shoving him, and then our champion ends up getting held back and wanting to fight the big dog.
This is fucking awesome, bro. Kaiser straight up trying to murk Sheamus. He tried to do the drop kick into the steel steps like he did Da Vinci and a couple other people. I can't remember. And dude,
he ended up doing it to Sheamus the week prior too.
Yeah, he did do it to Sheamus at one point. But dude, the visual of Kaiser running on one side, Breakker running on the other side was so good. And then he just breaks this dude in half. Oh my god.
Absolutely insane.
If the ending of Raw didn't happen the way it happened, this would have been my highlight of the entire night. Right? Dude. That spear right there.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Oh,
I think someone else who deserves to get speared by Braun Breaker is Dominic.
Fuck Dominic. Pushes his ass in half.
Yeah, for real. He's looking for his vest backstage, asking left and right, and Liv is down the hallway and goes, Dominic. And Dom sees her with the vest, and he goes, give me my vest back, please. Like, please give it back. Like, I just want it. And Liv goes, well, you can have it back only if you take it off of me. I was like, no way.
Like, we need our truth in here. I don't think that's PG.
That is not PG. Dom would have started attempting to take off the jacket, and who ends up turning the corner? Damien. And Damien starts talking to him in Spanish, I believe. And he tells Dom to go to the clubhouse with his jacket. And Damien looks at Liv. And just same thing as Finn. Damien goes, I don't think he wants anything to do with you. And Liv is like, I think he wants everything to do with me. And after this little repost and him liking everything that Liv's been posting, I don't know.
Oh no, man.
I don't know.
He's looking a little sus right now for Dominic.
I agree. I agree. So now we would end up moving into probably one of my least favorite teams on Monday Night Raw right now, with leader of who I'm assuming is the leader of the Final Testament. Karrion Kross is with his wife Scarlett, and they talk a little bit of the history with the New Day, and that Kross is like, you know what, numbers game. All right, I got a little taste of my own medicine. And he issues a challenge next week, 1-on-1. And he hopes it's Kofi Kingston. Which would end up moving right into another backstage segment with the New Day. And they would talk history with the Final Testament. And Kofi goes, you have one accolade. Talking about like Karrion Kross, and I believe it was an NXT title when he had and Kofi accepts Karrion Kross's challenge. Which
this was
I don't even care about that anymore.
Oh, this was like kind of something here. Like this entire New Day promo was Xavier Woods started the promo, and it looked almost like he was going to accept the challenge from Karrion Kross when Kofi Kingston interrupted him, and obviously Woods was kind of okay with it. They're best friends and stuff, and Kofi starts talking and shit. But then Xavier tries to talk again, gets interrupted again by Kofi when he actually accepted the match from Karrion, and you could see on Woods' face he's a little annoyed by it. So
yeah,
I don't want to see the New Day break up, but maybe they're teasing it.
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention to this. I'll be honest with you. But we get ready to move into our main event, and we end up cutting to the concourse of the stadium that is located in Corpus Christi. I don't know what stadium it was, whatever. And Jey Uso's with the fans, and he gets the mic. He goes, "Jey Uso is now in your city." And he's basically talking like, I got to do it for my day ones to get that yeet case. You feel me? And if y'all down with that, let me hear you say yeet, yeet, yeet. And basically, this leads right into the main event of the Money Event qualifiers: Jey Uso versus Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio. And we end up having Yeet Chance go into a commercial. And apparently, an announcer said that it was important to have the Fireflies out during Jay's entrance. So I was kind of interested when I found that out.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray was limping in his entrance from the match earlier in the triple threat match. Or no. It was Dragon Lee's match. My bad. And this is where we will learn that Drew deactivated all of his social media accounts after he quit and just walked out.
You going in on it. You committing.
Yeah, commit. Where are we at here? This one, like I said, maybe some of the Money in the Bank qualifier. Balor would start running away. Run away. So Ray and start in the ring until everyone ends up outside of the ring. And Ray starts flying all over the place, taking out Balor with the dive to the outside. Cuts a commercial, and all three of them are just straight up cooking, bro. They're trading big moves, roll ups, and honestly, they're three of the best wrestlers on Raw, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
No doubt.
That's your opinion. Shit, that's yours. I can actually agree with that. We ended up coming back to commercial, and Ray would toss Balor with a rope, with top rope Hurricane Rana, and Jay would spear Ray as he gets up for a 2 count. Ray would hit Balor with a 619 to his gut, and then he would hit a traditional 619, and then he would hit a 619 to as well. And dude, Ray's 50?
I think he's 50 or 50 plus.
How old is Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio is... He turns 50 this year.
Damn.
50, December 11th.
Just look it up. Fucking wild.
But like you put here, this dude is 50 and he moves like a motherfucking legend, dude. He's still like he's 30.
Yeah.
Then we see a double Hurricane Rana into a double 619 from Ray. Judgment Day would end up jumping Ray outside of the ring. Remember, this is a triple threat, so everything is basically no holds barred. And guess who shows up as Judgment Day attacking him? Braun! Chasing through the crowd, and Balor would hit Ray with a coup de grace, and he had the match won until Uso would yeet in with a splash, and he would pin Balor for the W. Congrats to Yeet. That was my pick to win the match. He's my pick to win the Money in the Bank. I'm not gonna lie. Let me hear you say Yeet.
Get that Yeet case, Yeet.
And Jay would end up celebrating through the crowd, and basically, like Pat said, this is a Yeetabration. This is a Yeetabration. Cole. Yeetabration, Cole.
Yeetabration. We're all yeeting here.
After his match, the lights go dark. Then, like, we hear piano going dun, 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 and we'd end up cutting to the ramp. We'd see the Wyatt 6 door that we've seen prior in the past with Bray Wyatt. The door would open, and the camera kind of gets a up close shot, and someone's crawling in the smoke towards a lantern, very, very similar to Bray, which ends up being who we predicted, Nikki Cross, being in the Wyatt 6. But she would stand up, and she ends up pointing to the back. And the backstage is all smoky and shit. And there's just people beat the hell in this like little area with the figure in a rabbit mask with a hammer that says help. And there's like a red circle on the hammer. And kind of saying like, yeah, damn. Kind of just signifying what we've seen in the QR codes. And I think this is Eric Rowan, honestly. And then probably my favorite part, like how you were talking about Gorilla. The Gorilla position is just absolutely just destroyed. And lights are everywhere, flashing things, sparks flying, smoke, people are laying everywhere. And we would see a figure sitting on a desk and then like a buzzard mask. And it was, we learned to be Dexter Loomis. And when we cut to that, we'd actually get to see their logo for the first time as in their debut. And then we ended up cutting further into the back past Gorilla, and there's a pig mask figure with his hand on his face. And ended up being Joe Gacy. But then the camera would like go back to the floor, falling a little smoke and everything, seeing the bodies everywhere. And we'd end up seeing Chad Gable.
Oh shit!
Chad Gable was all beat and he was bloody. He looked like he was shot, dude. He was just dead. Dead.
He's dead.
And then
You don't come back from that.
Camera pans up to who is it? Uncle Howdy with his arms out. And he starts walking towards the camera, having all the figures follow him one by one as he's passing all of them. And the Fireflies are out everywhere. The fans are going nuts, dude. I have chills when I'm watching this. Like, I am just, oh my goodness. And then they would get behind Nikki. Howdy would end up picking the mask or picking up the lantern, and you would see all the members in their masks. And he goes, "We're here!" Blows out the lantern, and then a Nikki Cross jump scare ends Raw.
This is fucking awesome. This was fucking awesome.
They treated this like Raw after WrestleMania.
Straight up.
I'm so sorry. That's how I seen this. This is Raw after WrestleMania.
This was unbelievable.
Holy.
This was arguably a better ending to Raw than The Rock whooping Cody Rhodes out in the rain with a weight belt. Like, those two Raws are the best Raws to ever fucking happen, like, of this modern era.
Insane.
This was so cool.
Absolutely
they fucking killed
insane.
people. we got to see murder. Dude, my favorite part of it was, like how you mentioned your favorite part of it was seeing Gorilla get revealed. My favorite part of it was the immediate reveal. The fact that it was all a long shot, I also want to point out, was fucking awesome.
I was hoping something happened to Triple H, to be honest.
Yeah, but I've seen people speculating on that, but I think my favorite part of it was like right when the camera went to backstage and before they went to Gorilla, when you saw the potty of bodies. Fucking A, I can't talk. Pile of bodies that was at Eric Rowan's feet, and as he slowly turns around, I saw that big bushy red beard, and I popped like a little fucking kid when I realized that was Eric Rowan, bro. I was so excited.
Yeah, I was following heavily with the puppets after like a couple weeks ago, and I just realized, like, dude, they're really bringing all of Bray's vision to life.
Mm-hmm. This is really
like I keep seeing
they really went all out.
I keep seeing this visual. It says the art, and it's the new Wyatt 6, and it says below the artist, and it's a picture of Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that. This was damn near perfect.
Agreed.
They just need to follow it up strong, because
so you have to.
Because this isn't the type of thing that appeals to every type of wrestling fan. You know what I mean? And even me, this isn't my favorite thing in wrestling. Sure, my favorite wrestler of all time was The Undertaker, but right now I'm more into your Gunthers, your CM Punks, your Cody Rhodeses. And
you're into like the suit, like huge names.
Well, not huge. It's more the more based in reality kind of guys.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to get at. Not the huge guys. And so even me being more of a fan of that style of professional wrestling, I'm super fucking pumped to see where they go with this. This is awesome.
Me too.
Damn straight.
That's all I have.
Do you anything for? Let's fucking get it. I'm so fucking excited. Speaking of The Rock whooping Cody Rhodes with a weight belt, this is the same building as when The Rock beat the shit out of Cody before WrestleMania 40.
That's what I've seen on Twitter. I don't know how true that is. So
hopefully it's true. Or else I might make myself look like a jackass by repeating that so confidently.
It's fine.
Yeah, but we open with a kind of recap with what happened on Monday with Drew McIntyre. And thoughts on Drew McIntyre going to TNA and facing Moose for the world title? Because this was actually something that I've thought about in the past. I like it, and I genuinely think I thought that was the direction that they were going. They might still head in that direction off of everything that happened on this show, but I think it's super likely. I'd love to see something like that.
How do you feel about Punk screwing Drew, setting up WrestleMania or not WrestleMania, SummerSlam? Like Punk going to TNA, screwing Drew as Drew is fighting Moose, which would end up setting another reason why they should fight at SummerSlam.
Oh, that'd be wild as fuck. Oh my god, that'd be wild as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. SummerSlam's gonna be
CM Punk,
fucking
bro.
crazy.
CM Punk is just a fucking legend. He hates Drew McIntyre so much. We just see Nick Aldis, I think, saying that we had extra security because of what happened with the Wyatt Six. But the real juicy part of this, what I was more excited about than absolutely anything, I get to cover a CM Punk promo on SmackDown, baby. Let's fucking go! Yeah. CM Punk opened the show in Chicago, Illinois, baby. We saw, it was so cool. We saw a gigantic CM Punk banner being waved in the crowd over the like SmackDown signs on like the banners that run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm kind of talking about?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It was fucking awesome. We hear Wade Barrett comment on everything that he said at Clash at the Castle on how Punk needs to be fired and shit like that. And, you know, basically Wade doesn't like Punk anymore, but fuck you, Wade.
He basically, he ate his own words.
Well, as he should.
Basically like, you know what, I actually feel bad for what I did, and I apologize.
But then we get the CM Punk doing his signature. He's sitting cross-legged in the middle of the ring, and he shouts, "Live television, living color, Chicago, Illinois. Is it good to be alive on a Chicago night on a Friday or what?" He starts talking about how since they're on live TV, they got pressure. He's talking about examples of pressure. Being on live TV, that's pressure. Performing in your hometown, that's pressure. He talks about how on July 17th, 2011, he promised everyone he was going to win the WWE Championship. That right there is pressure. And guess what?
It's Money in the Bank, his match against John Cena.
And he didn't fail. He didn't embarrass Chicago. He fucking took the dub, ran out through the crowd with the belt, bro. But Drew, he can't say the same thing. He kind of failed.
No.
He's failed in Glasgow, didn't get the belt, and says that, man, I kind of told Drew this shit was gonna happen. When you fuck with me, I'll fuck with you even harder. You know what I mean? He said when Drew kicked him while he was down, he kicked all of Chicago as well. Punk says, bro, he said he was gonna get jumped in Glasgow. I don't think that was actually real because they were like, there was a lot of Scottish fans that were pretty excited to see CM Punk. In all honesty, I even heard like some kind of rumor that like there was fights between some of the fans that were cheering for Punk and cheering for Drew. I don't know how true those reports. I don't know how true those reports are, but like, y'all, it's just professional wrestling. It's just professional wrestling. Talking about how weeks turned into months of Drew kicking Punk while he was down. And Punk only has 3 options when that happens. He can either stay down. That's not an option. He can get up and turn the other cheek. He's from Chicago. That's also not an option. So he can only choose the Chicago way. And if they send me to the hospital, I'll send them to the morgue. Damn straight. Punk threatening murder on live TV. Why the fuck is there so much death?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Once again, he says, I set out to kill his career. I said I'd make Drew McIntyre's life a living hell, and I planned on burying his career 6 feet under. Shit, I just didn't think it'd be that easy.
It wasn't supposed to be that easy, dude. Like, you'd think like Drew would keep fighting, but no, dude. After he quit on Raw, you just like, it just went nuts.
Straight up, he couldn't take the pressure, bro. He prayed bad things would happen to CM Punk, but man, CM Punk just made bad things happen to Drew McIntyre. So he took his ball and he went home like a little bitch. Just when, oh my god, I literally felt like I was like a 12-year-old kid again because we got, ladies and gentlemen, and Paul Heyman walks out on the stage and immediately gets showered with ECW chants. You know how Paul goes, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And he talks about how he would never disrespect CM Punk by interrupting him, but y'all, and admittedly, he is running a little bit late. He dropped the fire bar of, y'all, it's hot as balls outside. And when CM Punk is on the mic, it is hot as balls in the Allstate Arena as well. fucking A. The original Punk hype man, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He brings up the fact that Punk is the guy that sat next to Heyman's kids at his Hall of Fame speech, and even though he's got this whole relationship kind of dad kind of thing where Roman is his owner and shit like that, he's still CM Punk's best friend. And Punk goes, bro, if there's one person in this entire place that can interrupt my promo, it's you. And so, Paul has to get in the ring. He gets in the ring, and they immediately hug. Bro, this is heartwarming, bro. Again, felt like I was a fucking kid again seeing these
Bro, I
two
did
back
too.
together.
It was so nice.
Paul goes, sorry, I just really needed that. Because on our way over here, we're listening to the radio, and the radio really pissed off Solo. Solo doesn't like the radio because we were listening to the sports radio and they talk about how Chicago is CM Punk's town, but Solo, he wants every town to be his town. And bro, Paul even said in this, he said Solo was the head of the table, but he said this with like the most disgusting face on it. It's like they sound loud to have a table. So he's got a favor that he's going to do for CM Punk, but he wants one in return. When Punk is cleared, when Punk is cleared, people are going to learn that he is the best in the world, he says.
Yeah.
And the promo the favor that he goes, is he says, bro, against all of your better instincts, you need to get out of here because the bloodline is coming after you. And even though we got all this extra security because of what happened on Monday with the Wyatt Six, which I thought was a really good callback to what happened, is they are gonna fucking rip you apart because they got nothing on the bloodline. All right, against your own instincts, please. He said this with like this super serious face. He goes, "Get the hell out of here right now." But Punk, he doesn't give a fuck about that at all. He said, "Fuck the bloodline," which is when Solo and God, the full bloodline for now, walk out. And we see Punk kind of like position himself between the bloodline and Paul Heyman. The crowd boos the fuck out of him, yelling, "We want Roman!" Do. Solo basically starts running his mouth, saying the SmackDown is his show and it's in my city. Punk, you need to either pay your respect to me and the bloodline, or we're gonna make sure that you never get cleared to wrestle again. So Punk asks Paul, like, you said the favor you were going to do for me was warn me about the bloodline. What's the favor I can do for you if I leave the arena right now? And Paul just says, take me with you. To which Solo looks fucking pissed.
So it looked a little visibly upset.
This looks like he's going to fucking rip his head off. So Punk kind of raises the one up like he's gonna acknowledge Solo, like he's going to pay his respects. But he says, man, I acknowledge the fact that y'all are a pair of fake ass Usos and a phony cosplay tribal chief. Damn! Roasted!
I wanted to ask you something about this though.
Good.
Do you think this is a hint at us seeing the Usos and Roman getting back together versus Solo's bloodline?
1,000% gonna happen. I think this is kind of like Punk kind of calling out the fact that needs to happen at some point. Or just trying to draw comparisons between those two bloodline groups. But God, this pair of killers, moves in to try and take out CM Punk when probably from fucking Narnia or some shit, Cody Rhodes appears from the fucking crowd with a baseball bat, throws one to CM Punk, and chases off the bloodline. Cody grabs a mic, and I thought that this was just a fire bar that he yelled at Solo. Is, bro, you fancy yourself the head of the table? Well, I've already beaten one head of the table. And I'm like, ooh, fuck yeah, fuck you, Roman, but please come back. He talks about how they need to just leave their crews in the back. Tama needs to leave God. Cody will leave Cody. Cody will leave Randy and Owens in the back, and they can settle this one-on-one tonight. And Solo kind of agrees to it. And ladies and gentlemen, we got our main event set up. But I kind of wanted to ask you a question. In Paul's promo, he mentions something about the fact that Punk is potentially being days away from being medically cleared to compete. Do you think there's any actual validity to that? Or do you think they're just
Yes.
saying that for the story
Yes.
and we might see him
No,
back in the ring?
he's supposed to be back around this time.
That's what I thought this whole promo was going to be. I thought this whole promo from Punk was going to be the fact that he was going to say to everybody he was cleared to compete.
Okay.
That's what I thought. That's
I think
what I thought
it
the
was
whole reason
supposed to
of him
be
being there
about, but
was.
that's why I don't think that's how they ran it. But
Yeah,
I do believe Punk is supposed to be cleared here very soon.
Yeah, maybe even I kind of want to see him compete before SummerSlam, but I got kind of that prediction kind of got messed up because of a certain Scotsman though. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But
Okay.
announcers do move on, and they start talking about how, yeah, we do got extra security here because, you know, there was a lot of death that happened on Monday. Some people got shot. So we did get to see that, and all throughout the entire show, throughout multiple interviews, multiple just backstage segments, we do see just a ton of security backstage, just ready for anything to happen, which I do like the fact that they're moving that storyline kind of onto both shows.
Yes, I agree.
But then we get backstage with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair before Bianca's triple threat match for the Money in the Bank qualifier. And Jade starts talking to her. She's like, bro, we need to worry about getting our tag titles back. Like, I'm going to go talk to Aldis about this shit. And which is when we get, like, Bianca kind of being like, man, hold up. Like, I got a Money in the Bank qualifier to worry about. You got a Money in the Bank qualifier to worry about. Like, let's pump the brakes on that and worry about being singles wrestlers. And so I'm kind of wondering, is this the first, like, kind of signs of a dissension between these two where we might start building to their feud?
It's possible.
'Cause I'm thinking that. I don't think it'll happen, like, super soon.
Here's my thing. Both of what happened to them has once each. They both got pulled away from the tag titles. So I don't know.
But I know I get what you're going out there. They're
Actually,
both
I'm
kind
not gonna
of
lie.
they've both been kind of at fault.
Is for a later thing. I just completely about whiffed that. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, good. But Jade, as Bianca's about to walk out the curtain, says, "Man, I would wish you good luck, but you don't need it. She the EST of WWE."
I'm on
We
my
get
own
backstage.
against the
world. But we do get backstage. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, with his baseball bat, of course. And we get another symbol, another Pluto symbol on the door, kind of behind Cody as he passes it. And I don't think anything. Those like kind of just scattered throughout backstage areas, basically.
They were scattered throughout all night.
It's fucking cool.
Like you said, it's kind of a nice thing that. Yep, it's kind of nice that we know that they could be on either show.
Yeah, because in my opinion, you can't draft the Wyatt Six. They shouldn't be abiding by WWE rules.
Yeah, especially with this massacre.
Right. We do get who I'm gonna call from now on Team RKO, who walks up to Cody Rhodes, and Randy mentions, like I said, like we just talked about how they're kind of spreading this throughout all the shows. He goes, with everything that's going on around here, man, are you sure you want to go against Solo tonight? Which I kind of thought was another callback to the Wyatt Six, was him being like, Cody, you want to be alone, really?
Okay.
And KO basically says, man, you always know the Bloodline has a plan. And Cody Rhodes, man, don't worry, because I got a plan too. So we do move on to a triple threat women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Bianca Belair versus Michin versus Chelsea Green.
Bro, the outcome of this match, I was actually genuinely surprised.
I popped, dude. When I tell you this might be my favorite part of the night, I'm not joking. I popped so loud at 3 a.m. for Chelsea Green winning this match. I was so excited.
Worth.
I fucking love Chelsea. Well, this match does begin with Bianca Belair and Michin bouncing Chelsea between them with a bunch of punches like a fucking volleyball. Fucking great. Chelsea eventually just rolls out of there because she's knocked the fuck out, which is when Michin and Bianca just start going at it. We cut backstage, and the women's champion Bayley is backstage with a fucking army of security behind her. Like we said, hey Bayley. Ooh.
I wanna
I wanna
know if you be
know.
my
Be
girl.
my girl.
I hope she doesn't
We
make this
do get
SummerSlam. If she
oh my
does,
god, we bet you. I'm not even kidding. You know the France chant for Cody Rhodes, where they're like Cody
Cody Rhodes.
Rhodes,
Wait, I thought that was
Cody Rhodes. I'm
no,
gonna do that.
that was France.
Yeah, that was France. I'm gonna do that the entire day at SummerSlam, and I really hope
Cody,
that the people we're
Cody
sitting around want to do it with
Rhodes,
me. We could
Cody,
just get the entire arena
Cody
to do it, or
Rhodes.
stadium.
Agreed. That'd be amazing.
Oh my god, it'd be fucking lit.
Uh,
Back to the match, though. Sorry. We get all three of these women brawling on the outside until Bianca and Michin eventually just like shrug off Chelsea to get the fuck out of here. But she ain't going for that. She dives on both of them on the outside, which is when we cut to commercial. When we come back, though, we get a Tower of Doom. Like I think it was Bianca being on the bottom and Chelsea being on top, getting the worst of the impact. But Bianca, bro, outpowers fucking a Hurricane Rana almost into a power bomb. I'm pretty sure this was to Michin, who hits Bianca with the Eat Defeat, who kind of just rolls out of the middle rope. I'm pretty sure she's kind of been having that happen a lot in her matches. She kind of needs a new fucking finisher. That one sucks,
the
but
eat
she
defeat.
kind of needs something
Yeah,
other than the Eat Defeat, which could be the Styles Clash, which is
very
what she
true.
drilled Chelsea Green with. But Bianca was able to break up the pin super last minute. Bianca fucking picks up Michin, hits a release German suplex, and a fucking KOD. She goes for the pin, almost has the match won, when the best wrestler of all time, Chelsea Green, picks her up, throws her out of the ring, pins her for the win. Oh my fucking god, let's go. But it's what you mentioned earlier. This is the kind of the second time like Bianca's team with her and Jade has had this happen to them after they've hit their finisher.
Yes, I'm really curious on how they run this because I
Me
wonder
too.
if it comes across to now. Jade's kind of gonna start copping an attitude with Bianca and be like, "Oh, so you can't win your matches because you keep getting them stolen from you." Well, I'm either, and then we're just gonna see something from there or something like that. I don't know.
I would like to see something just like what you just mentioned there, but instead maybe have Jade drop a hint at like maybe I'm the new EST in that bar that she's talking about, the Bianca.
Oh, yes.
Like, whoa, throwing shade.
Yes, yes,
Okay, I
yes, yes,
see
yes, yes,
you.
yes, yes.
Yeezys. We do get Bailey backstage after the triple threat, though, with her army of security behind her. And we get Blair Davenport walking up and talking her shit, talk shit about Naomi, says that she's going to win the money in her Money in the Bank qualifier, and she's going to win that briefcase and go on to cash in on Bailey. I don't think it's going to happen. Spoiler alert.
I don't think it's gonna happen at all.
We do get Solo and Paul Heyman in the Bloodline locker room backstage, and Heyman's visibly upset. Like it looks like he's been getting berated. As Solo is sitting next to him, and he goes, "So you want to leave?" And Paul goes, "No." And Solo goes, "Well, before you leave with CM Punk," and he said CM Punk with like some attitude behind it, like, "Okay, put some respect on his name. You know whose city you're in?" He goes, "Before you leave with CM Punk, tell the Tongans that KO and Randy," and then like the camera audio like just completely cut out from like it seemed like
Yes.
everybody. I put a note here that like I didn't know if it was intentional or not. I don't think it was intentional, but it
I
seemed
also
like
put a
from
note.
their
It was cut on the live stream as well.
yeah, it seemed
So
like
I don't
just
know.
from his lips and just from what happened later on in the show, I'm gonna assume that what he said to Paul was go tell the Tongans to make sure Kevin and Randy don't win their matches tonight. It's kind of
Yeah.
essentially what I'm gonna break it down as.
But I did want to point out what Paul said to Solo. He was like, "Punk's off limits." Me and Roman agreed on that. That Punk is off limits. Leave him alone.
Yeah, like that's how close like they were. Like, even Roman Reigns was like, "Okay, Paul, I'll respect your decision. I'll leave him alone. Whatever." Like even Paul's even like, "Man, I don't want to deliver the message. That's the fucking Tongans. What you talking about?" And then
Bruh.
Solo tells him, "Bro, to or wait, tells him to do Solo, bro. He's like, man, when I tell you to do something, better fucking do it." And Paul
Agreed.
says he'll do it. And Solo stops him, saying, "Man, when you get back, not before you get back. That wouldn't make sense. When you get back, we need to have a little talk." It's like, Paul might get his head ripped off.
Maybe.
We do get a recap. Well, this like thing cut to commercial, but then it comes back. We got a recap of what happened last week between Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano, Mr. Wrestling, and we get an interview
Wrestling.
with Johnny Wrestling, Mr. Wrestling. Who is Mr. Wrestling's Kevin Steen? Fuck, my bad. But my bad. We all know. I'm a wrestling fan. I know better than y'all. Shut up. We get Kayla Braxton in her second to last SmackDown, I think, because we mentioned she was leaving.
Yes.
She has an interview with Grayson Waller. And basically, Waller says, "Man, I want to qualify for Money in the Bank. And I'm thinking of Austin Theory. He's at home. Shout out to my homeboy." So when DIY show up and they're like, "Man, of course you left Theory at home. And of course you're going to go out and win Money in the Bank without him. Hell, last week you sacrificed Austin Theory to him." So when they all start arguing and shouting at each other, which is, in reality, my favorite part of the entire show. I'll say
Yes.
Chelsea Green was, but this was in reality it. We get a loud bang, bang, bang on the garage door that's behind them, and a crew member lifts up the door, and who do we see? Drew McIntyre standing over the lifeless, bloodied body of CM Punk at his feet. Oh my god. The fucking... When I saw it, it took a moment for my brain to wrap around it, because I was like, "Oh wait, what?"
I was very confused.
Me too. I would have, before I really dive into what happened with McIntyre, I would have liked to have seen Drew be gone for a couple weeks.
Honestly.
You know,
I mean,
like you mentioned, go to TNA.
Yeah, I was playing basketball at my girlfriend's house because she has like a basketball hoop in her living room, and there's like a soft basketball that bounces a little bit. And I was shooting it because like I didn't really, I'm kind of interested in this whole thing with DIY and then 8 10 under, but I'm kind of not. And so I just start shooting the ball, and I hear the banging. I'm like, "What's going on?" And I sit down and I'm watching this. I'm like, "There's no way." Like, here's my issue with this whole thing with Drew McIntyre. Now I agree, wait a few weeks, but now here's my other thing. We've already announced his contract. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of ruined for us. If they hadn't had announced that Drew had re-signed his contract, I would give this. This still might be my favorite storyline of the year so far.
Mm-hmm.
But this would just boost it onto a completely other level if they had not spoiled Drew's re-signing.
They did it back in like March, I think.
Yeah, they did that like right after WrestleMania. The Rock did it by giving him a fucking sword.
That was crazy.
But into this segment now with Drew McIntyre, he picks up CM Punk's body and he carries him backstage. And I kind of put down whatever. I put down a note where like I thought this was kind of a similar way of shooting. So he was, as he's walking backstage, on either side of him, there's just rows of like jobber fucking wrestlers
and shit.
Yeah, or crew members just standing around looking at him all confused, like, "What the fuck? Oh my god, that's CM Punk!" Like, "Oh my gosh, there's blood dripping on the floor. Oh my gosh!" And I thought and it was a long shot. They followed him all the way through there. They followed him through backstage, through Gorilla, and out to the ring and onto the stage. And I thought this was kind of a cool reverse kind of camera shot of what they did with the Wyatt 6 debut, where instead of going from the ramp backstage and a bunch of dead bodies, it's a camera going from backstage out front past a bunch of people standing around.
Okay, I got you.
So it's not like
it's
not like a direct callback of the Wyatt 6, but it's kind of like a visual callback of that debut kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he does just dump CM Punk's body off of his shoulders. He made a thud like a fucking lifeless sack of potatoes. God damn. He then gets on his knee, kind of mocking CM Punk's "it's clobbering time" movement, and takes one of CM Punk's bracelets, which, as I was watching, I didn't realize it. I kind of had to look it up on social media. That bracelet is kind of like I guess, friendship bracelet-esque type of thing when it comes to him, his wife, and his dog, Larry. So it's kind of like a friendship bracelet for his family, basically. Yeah, Larry.
Okay.
So
I
super
got you.
personal belonging of CM Punk's that Drew just takes off of his wrist and slips it into his pocket. So like this feud's getting personal now. We're doing all this, and a bunch of security comes out, and Nick Aldis just doesn't hesitate. He shoves Drew McIntyre hard as he can, which is when Drew turns around, shoves him back, and the security kind of gets between them. And Drew yelled something before the cameras would cut him off, something along the lines of, "Put your fucking hands on me again, and I'll kill you, I will."
This is insane.
Nuts. Bunch of medical people loaded Punk onto a stretcher, and they carry him out back, fucking out to an ambulance. And Wade Barrett is like, man, CM Punk, he made his bet at Clash of the Castle, and now he's got a lie in it.
I'm asking you, what do you think? You agree with that?
I agree with it. CM Punk
Me
has.
too.
I'm a CM Punk guy. You kind of fucked with the wrong dude in the wrong country.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre fucking wrecked. Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. We do get our next triple threat men's Money in the Bank qualifier match, though. The first one, I think, for the SmackDown side on the men's bracket at least.
Yes.
Tama Tonga versus Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes.
Melo don't miss.
Yeah, another fucking surprise upset win, which I'm not upset about it.
Melo don't
Well,
miss.
what is Orton 275 pats his stomach?
Oh, so my bad. I forgot to. So during his announcement, when like he was built, like he's built out of St. Louis, and he weighs in at 275, he's like 275, and he starts patting his stomach a little bit. He's like, damn. Basically, like, kind of hinting at him being a big ass motherfucker.
He's a big ass motherfucker, dude. He don't play. God damn.
But we'd also, actually, fuck you, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We also kind of got confirmed that the audio cut earlier was Paul Heyman having to tell Tama and Tonga to make sure Orton and Owens don't win their matches.
Yeah, the audio cut was actually confirmed. Yes. I don't know
Hell,
what it was. Like, it had something to do with
I don't think it caught it. I don't think I caught it actually getting confirmed on the show, but I'm glad to hear it actually did. Because I was confused. I'm not even kidding when I tell
commentary heavy.
I'm not even kidding when I tell you, when that happened, I rewinded that segment like at least 5 or 6 times to try to pick out what Solo was saying by reading his lips. So if I had just known that they had confirmed it on the commentary, it would have saved me so much. But the match begins as Orton and Tama Tonga stare off. And which is when all of a sudden Melo and Tama just jump Randy Orton and just go fucking after him. But Randy is a big motherfucker and just starts whooping them. It was literally like 2 little brothers ganging up on their bigger sibling, and he just decides to turn things up to actual serious mode. Mm-hmm. Things continued as everybody spills onto the outside of the ring, and Randy starts trying to like drop them both onto the announcer's table as he always does, but they're kind of fighting him off, like scrapping with him, like don't want to be dropped on the table, when all of a sudden Randy turns it up to 11, picks these little bitches up and does it anyway, cutting us to the commercial break. And when we come back from that, Tama and Melo are in the ring, and the MFT, the new right-hand man for Solo, is just ripping Melo apart. Clearly, like, showing that Tama is a savage and Melo is still new at this shit. But he fucking hits him with a face buster, and Tama catches him mid-air, giving him a fucking wild backbreaker. Randy gets back into it, running wild on both of these dudes. And like we've been talking about this entire time, he looks humongous. Corey Graves on commentary saying, maybe. Oh, I mean, look at who's in charge now of WWE, Triple H.
Yeah, for real.
Corey Graves on commentary goes, bro, Orton looks even bigger than he does at Survivor Series. At the same time, Randy's hitting suplexes on fools, being an absolute beast. Melo was able to catch Randy, though, with the first 48, which transitioned into Tama's face buster finisher. But they both kind of stopped each other from getting a pin before scrapping over who was going to pin Randy Orton, which is when Randy grabs them both. Again, big sibling here, draping DDT to both of them. Tonga Loa runs out from fucking nowhere to distract Randy Orton, from hitting the RKO on Tama, and KO runs out, starts brawling with Tonga on the outside, and man, this distracted Randy somehow hard enough for Mello to roll him up for the win. And Mello just pinned Randy Orton. Holy shit. Mello's going Mello in the bank, baby.
Mello in the bank. We need it now. I need Mello in the bank, please.
I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm excited to see Mello in this match.
Personally.
Nah, Yeet in the bank for sure. But I'm super excited to see Mello get an opportunity to even be in a ladder match because I think he's going to fucking pop off in it.
Agreed.
And I think he's just going to have some super awesome spots in it. I think it's a great opportunity for him. Plus, now he can go around on the roster yelling, y'all, I just pinned Randy Orton. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, mentioned something, I think, in a backstage interview. Either backstage interview or like an after the show interview, how he basically could call himself now the Legend Killer.
Oh shit! I'm not against him kind of taking on a kind of Legend Killer-esque role.
You know?
I think that every generation should have like that kind of. That's not a gimmick. I think that can get really old. It just can be redone with multiple people because like the idea of a younger star wanting to. Yeah, the idea of like a younger star wanting to target all the older generation guys and take them out. It's kind of just a cool concept, and I think that Mello becoming that guy when Randy was originally that guy would be pretty cool.
Yes.
But not as cool. Not, I repeat, not as cool as the megastar LA Knight. Yeah. We get an LA Knight promo. He walks out to the ring. Let me talk to you. Yeah. He wants Logan Paul to bring his goofy-haired keister out here right now. Yeah. And he looks at his wristwatch. He's waiting. He ain't got a lot of time. Nah. He wants a shot at that U.S. championship. But what did that goof say? That goof said nope. He said no. He got a phone call last week saying Logan was going to be here. But what did he do? He no-showed Chicago. Yeah. Next week, though, Logan, he can't run because it is in Madison Square Garden. Logan Paul, it's Santos, it's LA Knight in a Money in the Bank qualifier triple threat. Knight don't got to wait. Well, sorry. Knight doesn't want the triple threat. He'd rather have Paul one-on-one. Yeah. He says, man, I'm going to beat you next week. Then I'm going to climb the ladder and I'm going to snatch that case. Then I'm coming to look for you. And I want that title. Double the pleasure. Double the fun. Yeah. Santos Escobar, that little fucking prick. He then walks out. His music hits because as we kind of heard in that LA Knight promo, it will be LA Knight versus Santos versus Logan Paul on SmackDown. Hell yeah. Yeah. But Santos, yeah. He comes out and he goes, man, I show up and I tell the truth. Man, he basically says, LA Knight, you're chasing Logan Paul like a desperate Chicago fanboy, which obviously got him booed like a motherfucker. He says, man, he's your idol. He's your icon. But man, Knight ain't taking that. He goes, nah. Every time I've had to beat you, I have. And so I'm not looking past you. I'm looking through you. Yeah. Santos then tries to attack the megastar, but he's just too good. He drills him with a fucking BFT like a savage he is. And he starts to pick up the mic. He's gonna spit some more gospel on our asses. And what happens? Logan Paul walks out, lays him out with a KO punch, and holds the title over LA Knight's body.
I'm not gonna lie. This is elevating the fuck out of that title after the dirt it's been in here recently.
You're not wrong. Oh, go ahead. You got more?
Austin Theory being the guy to hold the title. Should have been to win Mania 39. Personally, that's what I wanted. But now that we are seeing Logan kind of elevating it with LA Knight and this whole rivalry and just adding Santos into it kind of adds a little bit of fuel to the fire because, Santos needs a little something going on. But Santos is kind of just a little side character right now. This is LA Knight versus Logan Paul. Yeah. The megastar versus the internet star. Yeah. This match is happening at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Brother Shorty, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But bro, could you imagine at WrestleMania 39 if Cena had won that title and the title lineage went Austin Theory, John Cena, Logan Paul, then LA Knight?
That's what I'm saying. Cena
Oh my
elevated
god.
that title back in like 2015. They should have let him re-elevate it.
He could have done it again. I've seen a lot of people pitch for, you know how Gunther went on that legendary Intercontinental title run and reestablished that belt. I've seen a lot of people say that LA Knight should do the babyface equivalent to that with the US title.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ain't against it. Yeah.
I ain't either.
Something else I'm not against. I'm not gonna lie, this entire episode of SmackDown was fucking awesome.
They
Like
treated this like WrestleMania.
yeah,
To
straight
me.
up. This SmackDown and this Raw both felt like a post or SmackDown felt like a pre WrestleMania. Raw felt like a post Mania, even though they were in reverse.
Agree.
But I was not disappointed by this match. Kevin Owens versus Andrade versus Grayson Waller. Triple threat. Money in the Bank. Men's qualifier. Oh my fucking god, I was so excited for this. But at least for the ending, I'll get into it. God ended up attacking Kevin Owens during his entrance, and Randy makes the save with a chair, fucking chasing those dudes backstage, and
Bro, then
KO
he hit
is
KO in the head.
straight up.
I thought he actually hit him. I
KO.
was like, oh, no way.
KO's a warrior, bro. He limps all the way down to the ring, though, even with a hurt leg, and he ain't fucking. He don't give a fuck. Let's start this match. Andrade, well, no, actually, hold on. Waller goes after KO and just knocks him out of the ring, which is when Andrade just fucking wallops him with an elbow and almost immediately wins the fucking match, which is when we get the little factoid of Andrade holds the fastest record or the record for the fastest match on WWE Speed, which
I didn't
only
know
has a
that.
3-minute time limit, so he's got to be
Yeah,
quick with it. He's the WWE Speed champion.
agreed.
But they all just start fighting on the apron at this point, all three of them. And man, this entire match, Andrade just starts hitting Waller stiff as fuck. He's just chopping the shit out of him, throwing him, kicking him, kneeing him. It's so funny to watch. This all ends though when Grayson Waller back body drops KO onto the apron and he just bounces off of it like a ball. It had to hurt. And Andrade sunset flip power bombs off the fucking apron. He's giving this to Grayson Waller. Just power bomb straight to the floor off the apron. Like I said, he's just going after Waller. This took us to the commercial, and all three of these dudes, when we get back, are just trading shots. We get Waller sucks chance. We get C chance for Andrade. Andrade hits
Andrade
both
El
of these
Idolo.
fools with meteoras in opposite corners. He's running fucking wild. Waller was able to stop KO and Andrade brawling against each other with double face busters. He even tries to call for the A-Town Down Under, but it's not his move, so of course he fails. Big old Tower of Doom, bro, with KO following it with a swanton to Andrade. I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens got the better of the tower there, kind of powerbombing both of them. But Andrade and Kevin Owens are kind of going at it there, and they slip out of each other's finishers. KO attempts a pop-up powerbomb. Andrade attempts the message. They both slip it when KO stuns Andrade from fucking nowhere. And Waller pulls Kevin out of the ring, off the pin, and he kind of jumps into the ring like he's going to do his rolling stunner. Mid-air, though, Andrade catches him, drills him with the fucking message, and my boy gets the win.
Andrade El
Man,
Idolo.
and I got a note here. I love Jey Uso, and I know that this dude probably will not win this match, but I'm cheering for Andrade in that ladder match no matter what. Andrade's my
That's my
fucking
pick.
man.
Yeet is my pick. He needs to win his Money in the Bank briefcase. He's main event Jey Uso. Keep adding to the main event status.
1000%. Like I think Jey Uso would be an absolutely unreal pick. Like I would lose my mind if Jey Uso won, but I think I'd lose my mind even more if Andrade somehow won.
Agreed.
He's like my Finn Balor. He's like of Lucha Libre basically.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a main event guy even though he should be, but I'm just behind him 1000%. And another fucking important thing I wanted to note that in all 3 qualifying matches tonight, the person who didn't get an entrance, basically the person that nobody thought was going to win the match, ended up winning the match.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It was pretty freaking cool. So WWE is actually pulling out some like unpredictable finishes now with their matches and stuff. I'm fucking with it hard. We do get backstage though. Michin and it's Tiffany time, which we haven't seen Tiffany in a couple of weeks. So I was super excited to see Tiffany. Tiffany just starts talking her shit, talking about how she's gonna qualify for Money in the Bank next week, which she should. Michin says, "Man,
shit, Queen.
At least I don't need Nia Jax to protect me," which is when Tiffany tries to slap Michin, who ends up catching it, and it looks like she's about to beat the fuck out of Tiffy when Nia Jax flattens her against the damn fucking, I don't even know what it was, the boxes next to him.
Yeah, the back, yes.
Just flattens her against a bunch of boxes, and nods to Tiffany and walks away as Tiffany goes, "Toodles!"
Toodles.
The princess of Friday Night SmackDown and the queen of the ring. I'll fuck with it.
Agreed.
I'm not gonna lie.
This.
I really like this pairing, and I think that they could go a long way with it. But
yeah, for sure.
We did get our confirmations next week. It will be. I'm going to do this a little bit out of order than what they're actually listed. Naomi versus Belair Davenport versus Indy Hartwell. We're also getting what we already know as LA Knight versus Logan Paul versus Santos Escobar. And the most interesting one, if you ask me at least, Candice LeRae versus Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. And
it's Tiffy time.
It's not because Candice LeRae is in this. It's because I'm wondering, how do they spin this between who wins between Jade and Tiffany? You got any thoughts?
Give us our pink briefcase.
1000%. I think Tiffany should still walk out with the win.
I don't even care. Give the pink. Basically, like what happened to Bianca, make it happen to Jade.
Fuck yeah.
Make it happen to Jade.
I fuck with it. Have her hit like Candice with the jaded. Oh my god. She turns them over onto their back after she hits the jaded.
Exactly, and that's when the prettiest moonsault ever happens.
Oh shit!
Very similar to the ending of Jay, Finn, and Ray.
Hell yeah. I'll fuck with that hard. Let's go, Tiffany!
It's Tiffany time.
I want that pink briefcase so bad.
I do too.
We do get Kate. Oh my god, with the fucking rhinestone diamonds all over it.
Yes, please.
We do get backstage. Kayla Braxton with a ton of security behind her. Again, another nod. Wyatt Six is attacked. We need all these fucking dudes here. She says that CM Punk is staying the night in a local medical facility because hospitals don't exist in WWE. And all Drew McIntyre had to say was, "I'll see you on Monday." So, I thought he quit. Oh my god, I'm kind of salty about that. I'm not gonna lie.
I might go just to go.
Go. I'm not even lying. You should. Like,
we'll figure it
no
out.
joke whatsoever. You should.
I might have to get off work early for that.
Not hard to do. Not hard to do. We do get backstage. Paul Heyman right before the main event match. Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa having a conversation. And this is where we get like,
ladies and gentlemen.
Paul Heyman basically goes, Paul Heyman. He goes, "So I did what you asked, but Solo, man, you're breaking commandments here as the tribal chief. Even after WrestleMania, before Roman Reigns left, he agreed that CM Punk was off limits. Solo, you aren't supposed to handle Cody Rhodes. You're only supposed to keep him in check until Roman comes back," which is when Solo just cuts him off. And he looks at Paul and he goes, "Man, wise man, Roman isn't coming back." And oh my god, me and Paul probably had the same reaction. I think we both had a miniature heart attack.
Yeah.
Dude, Paul sold this so fucking funny. He goes, "What do you mean? What can that mean? What can that mean?"
He's so lost.
It was so funny. It is main event time, though, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, one-on-one. We're going to leave our crews in the back. settle this now. Head of the table versus WWE champion. And right before the match started, it's kind of because of Paul selling the fact that Roman, he might have a heart attack, not going to lie. He's kind of like leaning on the ring steps there, but he's leaning on the ring steps that are in Cody's corner. And so we get a kind of wide shot of both of them. Yeah, it was really, really brief. I don't think it was intentionally meant to be taken this way, but I'm going to take it this way because I want to. A really wide shot of Paul Heyman standing in Cody Rhodes' corner opposite of Solo Sikoa, which I thought was obviously, I don't think it was like meant to be a storytelling thing, but I thought it was still a pretty cool visual to see that, even though it wasn't meant. Solo Sikoa basically goes, oh wait, no, this was all before the thing, sorry.
You're good, dude.
Basically, bro, these two just go at it. They fight for all of 5 minutes. Cody hits a dive, throws Solo in the ring, and he's about to hit the crossroads when God come out and cause a DQ. Literally, couldn't have gone more than 5 fucking minutes. And even before the match started, we got confirmation from, I think it was Wade Barrett.
Yes.
Who said, no matter what, Fox said we're going to stay with this match until it has a conclusion, even if we go past our runtime, which is a common thing that they that's a common thing that they do in AEW, actually. So I don't know if that was like meant to be something like that's supposed to tie to AEW or something. I really don't think so, but it didn't matter anyway. It went 5 fucking minutes. But God attacked Cody Rhodes, causing a DQ when Team RKO makes the save. They start fighting Bloodline versus Team RKO and Cody. And eventually, God get taken out, thrown out of the ring, and all 3 baby faces corner Solo Sikoa into the corner. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And he's like, man, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. He started pleading for his life. And then all of a sudden, like the Joker, he starts cackling, laughing his fucking head off. And deep down, I kind of knew something big was about to happen. As everyone turns around and fucking Jacob Fatu finally debuts on SmackDown. He decapitates all 3 of these fools with super kicks. He even ate a super kick from Kevin Owens, which he just no-sold like it was an absolute pissant on his fucking jacket, and just wrecks these 3. He Samoan dropped Kevin Owens onto the ring steps. He attempted to at least, spear Randy Orton through the barricade, which the barricade didn't break, and Randy just kind of like halfway went into it, which kind of made it look even more devastating given Randy's back injuries and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then the coup de grace of it all. He lays Cody Rhodes out onto the announcer's table, and from the top rope turnbuckle, splashes him through the table, this big motherfucker, and gets in the ring as him and Solo start to hug. Corey Graves gives us the line of there is a werewolf on the loose. All 4 members of the Bloodline hold up the wands, and the show closes out. Bro, I'm excited for this shit. Because they even sold it like, bro, why the fuck is Jacob Fatu here? Like, he needs to be locked up, not in wrestling.
Yeah, did you notice, though, that the Tongans looked freaked the fuck out when they seen Jacob?
I didn't notice the Tongans looked freaked out when they saw him. I would have assumed that
if you go back and watch it, look at the Tongans. They're like, what the fuck just happened?
So if
and you're like, you know what, whatever.
So if the Tongans are freaking out because Jacob's here, that just tells you how crazy this guy is.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu, man. I'm pretty excited for this guy. First of all, he looked like an absolute killer.
He looks like an animal.
Looked like an absolute animal. He fucking wrecked all of them. The Samoan werewolf. I hope he keeps that nickname.
I think he will. To be honest.
I hope so. This definitely has set up the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline, bro. Like fucking Roman, the Usos, and Sammy versus Solo, the Tongans, and Jacob. Let's fucking do it, bro. 4v4.
I'm interested in that. Do you think we get to get that set up? Those 4? And if we really do a 5th member at Survivor Series, Zilla Fatu is being trained under Booker T, and Booker T is a big advocate for Zilla. And if that's the case, then obviously the 5th member of this new bloodline would be the final boss, The Rock.
You just broke my brain. I didn't even consider the possibility of Zilla debuting on the babyface side.
Mm-hmm.
I always assumed if they were going to bring in Zilla that he was going to join Solo's side, and then I was kind of trying to figure out how are we going to get Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes onto Team Bloodline for Roman. But, like, you don't have to.
You don't even need it. You got the
Holy
Usos,
shit.
you got Sammy, who is an honorary Us.
That's wild
Then
as
you
fuck.
got obviously our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and if we do a 5th member again, possibly Zilla Fatu, who's being trained under Booker right now.
That's, yeah, you're cooking with that one. I fucking love
So
it.
I haven't seen much work of Zilla, but some of the work I have seen is pretty good.
The only thing that I know about Zilla is that he is indeed like a Godzilla. He is like 6'8". He is a fucking monster.
He is an animal.
And if you imagine that's like the trump cards that they're teasing is like at fucking Survivor Series, Roman is like, well, you know, you guys might be a band of killers, but I have a giant on my side. And then Solo is like, man, you might have a giant on your side, but I got the final boss.
Yeah.
The Rock!
That match is going to be insane.
The Rock! Be fucking awesome. But based on kind of what I mentioned earlier, with CM Punk potentially being cleared before SummerSlam, do we, and he kind of had this interaction with the Bloodline earlier, do we potentially see 4v4 at Money in the Bank, the Bloodline, Solo, Tama, Tonga, and Jacob versus Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Team RKO?
I see a possibility, but I don't see how likely it is because Punk is a Raw superstar, and he was really just only he was only at SmackDown because it was in Chicago, and that's where he just happened to be after Glasgow.
Right.
So that's why I think. But I do see the possibility of it, and I'm actually a big fan of it. I kind of want to see that happen.
I understand
and if that
that
happens, Drew can get involved.
Exactly. I understand that train of thought perfectly. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Punk to all of a sudden drop the fact that he just got his ass whooped in Chicago by Drew to start fighting the Bloodline with Cody. But I thought it was just like an interesting note to maybe ask based on their interactions earlier. I think it'd be pretty interesting to see Punk eventually interact with the Bloodline too.
I would like to see that, but I mean, if that's the case, he's in here to save Paul.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's the guy to come in and save
Punk's the 5th member because of the history between him and The Rock.
What if Punk's the 3rd man? I think that'd be pretty
fake ass Usos and a phony cosplay tribal chief.
That'd be freaking awesome. The only thing that I have to say about that is, like, a lot of people have also been saying, based on the back end of the Drew and Punk stuff, that have you heard anything about WWE wanting to bring back Bad Blood this year?
Yes.
And put a Hell in a Cell match on it. I've heard a lot of people say put Punk and Drew in the cell.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The only thing that I have to say to that is Punk literally tore his tricep the match that he got back on in WWE. I don't know if I want to see him in Hell in a Cell or risk him getting hurt in that again.
Take my money.
Shut up and take my money. I don't give a fuck. I want to see it.
Take my money.
Take my money. I would love to see it. But that's all I really have for us. SmackDown in terms of, like, you know, base shit. How about we dive into some Uncle Howdy shits?
Well, let's get into it. The very first thing I want to point out, we saw the puppets come to life, and we got confirmation of who each puppet was from SmackDown. Nikki Cross being Sister Abigail, Eric Rowan being Ramblin' Rabbit, Dexter Lumis being Mercy the Buzzard, and Joe Gacy being Huskus the Pig. And I wanted to reference the Firefly Funhouse anagram we had, I think, the week or two prior to this happening, because there was another URL, and it brought you to the YouTube video bringing a puppet to life, and they finally did that. They finally got it away from the Firefly Funhouse. And I want to ask, do you think when he says I set them free, he's not necessarily talking about like the people who are behind the mask, but the people who the masks are based off of. So like he actually set the puppets free, and he's using Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy to kind of fill in there for
Oh my
that.
fucking god! What if it's like dude, that's fucking wild. Like, I think this is. Correct me if I'm interpreting this the wrong way. Something along the lines of like the puppets are possessing the people.
Yeah,
Is like a really cool
kind of,
concept.
yeah,
Or like the
yeah.
spirit of Mercy the Buzzard is taking over Dexter Loomis's body.
Yeah, I would say because basically all the puppets are from Bray's imagination from the Firefly Funhouse. Sister Abigail is obviously a reference of Sister Abigail. I'm pretty sure it's just this move. Ramblin' Rabbit is the thought of Bray's mind, how it's always running. Mercy the Buzzard is obviously nod some Mercy, or no, Waylon Mercy, who Bray Wyatt's original character was based off of. And then Joe Gacy being Huskus the Pig, and Huskus the Pig basically being
Husky
a
Harris.
representation of when he was Husky Harris, yeah.
That's wild as shit.
I mean, this is
So it's
all
like the
for Bray.
four. So it's like arguably the four pieces of Bray being brought, or five. Five. Wait, hold on. Nikki, Joe, Dexter,
Four.
Nikki. Four. It's like the four pieces of Bray being brought together by Uncle Howdy into this faction.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy. Holy shit, this is awesome.
Karen Cross did tweet out after. I hope this doesn't come off as insensitive, but I'm really happy about everything that happened yesterday talking about the massacre. It's important to welcome strangers without preconceived notions and accept them for who they are authentically. Have a lovely day. And I kind of ran it past you of a potential Wyatt 6 versus Final Testament someday. I mean, do you want to run that on here? What are you thinking about
100%.
that?
I'd love to see it happen someday. I thought when you asked me that, I kind of misinterpreted it. I thought you meant like now is like their current feud is what their first people that they should fight with. But I 1000% think that they should potentially be. We've been talking a little bit about the tag titles on Raw and how they should be given to AOP. At least I think they should, in my opinion. And this will tie into the Wyatt 6. Is that you have AOP potentially be Awesome Truth for the tag titles, and then you have the tag team of the Wyatt 6, whoever it ends up being. I would personally like to see it be Joe Gacy and Eric Rowan together as the tag team.
Really?
You have those. Yes, I think those two would be a killer monster tag team together. Eric Rowan's just awesome, and Joe Gacy he's still young, but he's getting it. He's really getting it.
Yes.
I would love to see those two be the monster killer tag team for this group, and I would like them to be the guys who eventually either beat Awesome Truth or beat Final Testament, like you're just now talked about for the tag titles.
Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
It was confirmed though that Matt Hardy did have talks with WWE and coming back and kind of using his broken Matt Hardy persona for the Y6, but I think he declined or something like that. I forget what it was. But if you did look at Uncle Howdy's new mask, it's kind of Undertaker-esque almost.
It is, yeah.
So on the last episode of Firefly Funhouse, someone was playing with old Undertaker figures up on the table. And another thing just to kind of point out is Undertaker's history with Bray Wyatt and what happened on Raw 30 when he Undertaker chokeslammed fucking LA Knight and Bray was kind of sitting in the corner, and then they had like the little message that nobody's gonna know about because, well, one, Bray's sadly gone R.I.P. Bray, but Undertaker is taking it to the grave with him.
Right. It would be pretty a cool callback to that, honestly, because like you gotta think like in at least some way Undertaker was a loose inspiration in some ways to Bray Wyatt in the way that he's taken this into WWE. So I think that would be a pretty cool way of doing it.
Taker brought up Taylor and Wyndham, watching them grow up when he first was debuting and everything. You know how IRS is their father, and Wyndham or Barry Windham is their uncle. So he got to watch them grow up in the locker room. He just to see how Bray has come to life and all it was, dude. Like he said, it was super unfortunate he passed away, but he was just it was so awesome to see his vision come to life.
Yeah, now that his vision is really coming to life like this. Like, it's really tragic that it took him passing like that in order for this idea to really come to fruition the way it has like this, because I don't think under any regime at any, well, I don't want to say under any regime, because definitely under Vince McMahon's definitely under Vince McMahon's regime, he wasn't gonna get this over, and he wasn't gonna get this onto TV. So I'm super glad that like now it really is, and Triple H is clearly respecting this, and he's clearly giving it the time and attention and the respect that it deserves and it should have.
I definitely agree to that. But I also do want to point out Uncle Howdy's beard has changed colors as well.
Changed colors. It's a chameleon.
Can you hear me?
So it's gone like from. Right, cool. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. His beard hair changed colors, and it went from bleach blonde like the original Uncle Howdy was, to now it's his natural color, and it's kind of. I kind of want to agree with. I actually kind of do agree with C Wrestling UK. He said it kind of adds to his character and how how legitimate Uncle Howdy is, and it's just adding more to what he is and who he could be.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say reports. I think it was PW Insider. I could be completely wrong with that. Who said that they're wanting to take this Wyatt Six approach less supernatural and spooky and more based in reality and more just creepy.
Yes.
Which, yeah, I think would add on to that is if you had Taylor or Bo Dallas's actual natural appearance, it would just add on to that, other than seeing like, oh, that's clearly Bo Dallas in a shit ton of makeup and a goofy mask.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, this is all inside of Bray's mind. Uncle Howdy's inside of Bray's mind. All these characters are inside of his mind. This is like you said, this is his mind coming to fruition, and we finally get to see this.
Right.
If you noticed, Eric Rowan's part when he was the rabbit, if you look in the back, it was a skull of Luke Harper's Bludgeon Brothers mask, kind of giving him the nod of, Luke Harper is also here as well. Because, I mean,
he also does have a hammer.
Yes. They also had that same hammer, or a similar hammer as well. I mean, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper being very close. Same with Bray. After Brody passed, it was very tragic. And then Bray passing, Eric Rowan's basically just carrying on their legacy as well with Taylor.
Right. It's awesome. And I would eventually love to see Braun Strowman maybe get involved.
I do want to point out, Chad Gable was the confirmed only superstar to be attacked on Monday Night Raw. So any speculations of Gunther or Mello or anyone, not true. All backstage personnel or just extras.
When I even heard people say, like, man, I think Gunther got laid out by the Wyatt Six, I was like,
it looked like it for a second.
Please don't. Like, I'm super excited for this Wyatt Six and stuff, but there's some lines you just don't cross.
Well, and that's like one of them, if you ask me. If you didn't stop and watch it and you actually just watched the entire pan camera, it kind of, in a sense, looked like them, but if you went back and watched it again, it wasn't them.
I really did think it was Mello on that pile. I think it was the pile of bodies before we saw Eric Rowan.
I kind of threw out the idea
it looked exactly like Mello.
I kind of threw out the idea of Wes Lee. He's a NXT star right now, and he kind of has a similar aura to Mello, I think. But all of the Wyatt Six merch has a number 6 on the back. Every single one of them. Like all the shirts have 6 right at the top of the back of the shirt. And so, could there be a 6th member? Or is Bray the 6th member? Because if you paid attention to the glove that Bo wore in the Massacre on Raw, it had said Bray. It didn't say hurt. It didn't say heel. It said Bray. And the thought is, does Uncle Howdy do what Bray did and put the hands up to his face and kind of just listen to what the voices are saying?
Probably something, yeah. Probably where like he's listening, where in storyline he's listening to the guidance that Bray's spirit is giving him.
Yes.
I didn't notice that Bo was wearing a glove that had Bray's name on it. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Then, shortly after this whole massacre happened, Indy Hartwell tweeted out a picture of the sign that said divorce.
Ah, poor Dexter.
Poor Dexter. He was married to Indy in NXT as a storyline with The Way.
Now he's got even more reason to go kill people.
Yeah, for real.
I think it was next to Dexter Loomis. We saw the crew member who had like the big ass blood splatter all over the wall. Like got shot in the fucking back of the head.
Yeah. Then Uncle Howdy would attack, or not attack, but he hacked the Pat McAfee show, and it just said "You lied," and it was very similar to the VHS tapes we saw in the White Rabbit campaign, and some of them in the QR code videos we've seen for Uncle Howdy. But Monday is live from Indianapolis. Pat McAfee show was based in Indianapolis, and the Pat McAfee show team could be at Raw.
Oh shit!
I like how they're bringing everything around, but I'm gonna get more into this "you lied" message here in a little bit. But like we said, SmackDown had a heightened security. The Pluto symbol was seen behind Cody Rhodes at SmackDown, but when Drew McIntyre was carrying Punk, if you slowed it down, you saw Bray's friend Jason Baker seen in the background. I mean, speaking of SmackDown, the announcer, started talking about the QR codes and last Monday and the history of it. Then it was a glitchy video cut to last Monday. And you kind of wrote these notes, so I want you to go over this. Because this is your show.
We had like on SmackDown, we had like the recap video for everything happening with the Wyatt 6 massacre. And basically, as they were going through it, it had like a shit ton of like glitchy kind of cuts to like Nikki Cross's jump scare thing that she's been doing, and a bunch of messages were popping up along the screen as they were doing it. And the first, and in order, they were going like this is as the camera is panning through the backstage past all the Wyatt 6 members and all the bodies. It goes, "The door is open. Do you want to meet them? And you shall all behold what we have become. You will understand that all we ever wanted was a chance." And then it cuts to Gable and shows a little bit of how he's been being a douchebag to like everybody, how he's been abusing the Alpha Academy basically. And then I think the final one was "I set them free," as it kind of like did like the wide pan of all the Wyatts standing together and did like a cut to each of the 4 members. Nikki as Abby the Witch, I would say, maybe not Sister Abigail as her character.
That's kind of what I meant. But
Eric Rowan as Ramblin' Rabbit, Dexter Loomis, Mercy the Buzzard, and Joe Gacy, Huskus the Pig. Which I thought was just like, I don't know what any of the like messages on there could be, but I think the one that stands out to me was "all we ever wanted was a chance." Where like, yeah, if you look at all the members of the Wyatt 6, all of them were like kind of outcasted and never really given the opportunities that we all kind of felt like they needed.
Agreed. Oh man, I definitely agree to that. I think that now that we see all of this, because Nikki Cross used to be Nikki ASH, Eric Rowan after the Wyatt family kind of split, it was with the Bludgeon Brothers with Luke Harper. Dexter Loomis kind of just didn't really have a storyline after the whole thing with the Miz. And now Joe Gacy, his character is that he's kind of just been lost in everything in NXT. So, I mean, I definitely agree with that 100%.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of have, obviously, like the leader of the dudes that were the dudes. Kind of sounds like discrediting when I say it like that, but the people that were outcasted and not given those opportunities was arguably Bray Wyatt or Bo Dallas, those 2 guys. And them being the heads of this whole idea, the head of the stable, the spirit that guides the way is really kind of, I fuck with that hard. Just a bunch of vengeful spirits out for to make a name for themselves and how to fuck everybody else over, kind of like a I've seen people mention like a seven sins kind of thing, where they go after people who represent the things that they hate. Chad Gable was abusive towards the Alpha Academy, so they went after him.
Mhm.
Then maybe you can have them go after a baby face that does stuff that they don't like. You know, Seth Rollins can be a baby face that they go after.
I got a few names that I want to run by you about future victims at some point, but
I want to hear it.
Before I do get to that, I want to bring up Adam Pearce. Announced Gable was clear, like we talked about earlier in the beginning, at the start of this, and now here. Everything in the video though that he posted, it was glitched, and Adam Pearce's social media has been acting up here recently, all week. So his account name ended up getting changed to Postman Pierce. And it turns out that was actually a character on Firefly Funhouse. So could Adam Pearce be a target as well? I don't know. But instead of saying what?
Did you know that his name on Instagram, Adam Pearce's, is Scrap Daddy Yap?
It's Scrap Daddy AP.
Scrap Daddy Yap.
I didn't know that. I've been following him for
I don't know if that ever got changed, and that's what it got changed to, but that's what it is now.
Yeah, that's true. Instead of saying it is official like he normally does, he said, "Thank you for letting me deliver this message." Kind of like how a delivery man would deliver a message, and again, kind of bringing up Postman Pierce. I kind of think that Adam Pearce is a target.
I think Adam Pearce is like possessed by the Wyatts, under their control. We've mentioned
possibly similar to what we've seen with the therapist.
Yeah, something along the lines of he's a follower of the cult now, you know, or he's a mindless follower of Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, he's one of the people that got attacked, but wasn't confirmed, that nobody really saw. You know.
I was wondering. I wanted to run this idea by you. We saw the Wyatt Six. I don't think this is going to happen based on what we saw on SmackDown, because nothing happened on SmackDown to indicate this. And if they were going to do it, it should have been on SmackDown. I would have liked to see them do an idea, because the Wyatt Six completely took out a bunch of backstage personnel and stuff. I want to see like the Wyatt Six do a hostile takeover of WWE, and now we have the Wyatt Six kind of running the show in a sort of way, and where instead of we answer to Triple H, we now answer to Uncle Howdy. And if you have a problem with that, then Eric Rowan is going to shoot you in the fucking head.
Or hit you with that damn hammer.
Hit you with the hammer.
But I mean, speaking of Pierce kind of being another, like a victim, I do want to run a list by you of future victims. I just want to point out, though, Howdy hates liars. So, kind of a few lists of people who I was watching Sir Wrestling's video, and he kind of threw out some names I didn't agree with. So I just picked out some names I thought were kind of significant. Liv and Dom. If Dom gets with Liv, is he lying to Rhea about not wanting her? Is he lying to the Judgment Day about not wanting to be with Liv?
Oh my God, Judgment Day versus the Uncle Howdy Wyatt Six.
Is Liv and Dom, or is Liv lying to Dom by using him to pull everything away from Rhea?
Good.
There's Wade Barrett, who has history with Bray Wyatt from the Nexus. You know, when they were in the Nexus, he was with Bray, being Husky Harris. Then we see Chad Gable. He did stop saying thank you. And the CG on the notebook that we've seen from the Clash of the Castle QR code. I do want to point that out.
Yeah, I think he's a big one.
Something huge with him. Then there was Grayson Waller basically using Austin Theory and leaving him and abandoning him as, you know, as they're fighting. Waller is basically running like a bitch while Theory takes all the hits. And then this one's kind of an interesting one, but the phenomenal one, AJ Styles abandoning the OC basically until he needed them. I mean, do any of those names stand out to you the most besides Chad Gable? Because we already know about Gable.
Really just Gable is the one that sticks out the most to me. None of the other ones, I don't want to say they don't not make sense. They don't make sense for right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like right now, it would except for Chad Gable. Chad Gable's really the only one that does make sense for them to go after right now, because they've been dropping the hints. They have attacked him already. But I think the guy who I really would like to see them feud with, because this is what they're going to like kind of hopefully establish them as, is they're not good guys, but they aren't bad guys. They just do what they want and they follow their own path. They follow their own morals. So maybe in this feud, their first feud, it's with Chad Gable, a heel, until he eventually has to go to Perk Academy and get help with them. And then when he's done with the Wyatt Six, or they're done with him and bury him, they can go after Seth Rollins, a babyface now. And that kind of proves that, like, we don't care if you're good or bad. We just want to kill anybody that gets in our way. And so they go after Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins has been kind of not teasing, but slowly transitioning into a new gimmick, it seems like. He's cut the sides of his hair. He has kind of half faded out the freakin' in his name in Seth freakin' Rollins. And he's kind of doing his entrance a little bit less flashy and a little bit less overdramatic, how he has been. Okay. So maybe he's in the middle of a gimmick change, and off the back of the Wyatts potentially writing him off, or writing this version of Seth Rollins off, similar to how babyface Seth Rollins got written off by The Fiend in Hell in a Cell, and he had to turn heel and turn into the Monday Night Messiah. Maybe that's what we see again with Seth in the new Wyatt Six.
Bring back the Monday Night Messiah?
Maybe not bring it back directly, bring back something similar to that. Maybe. I would like to see Monday Night Messiah. I wasn't watching WWE during the Monday Night Messiah because that was the pandemic, and fuck that shit.
Yeah, that was. But some of that product was good, but the majority of it was horrible.
Well, yeah. Eye for an eye, I will never, ever want to watch. But
that is just so dumb.
Yeah, I would like to see them call back to, because Seth Rollins was forced to go heel when he faced The Fiend in Hell in a Cell because of how bad that match ended. So maybe off of the back of Seth Rollins facing the Wyatt Six, he has to go heel again, but this time it's because of storyline reasons and not just because.
Didn't that match end up like no contest or something like that?
They ended Hell in a Cell in a fucking no contest / disqualification because Seth Rollins grabbed a fucking toolbox and a hammer. It's Hell in a Cell!
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Taker threw Mankind off and then through the roof of the cell, and the match continued.
And Triple H did the same thing.
Yeah, but Seth Rollins grabbing a giant, wacky, fake-looking hammer and then hitting The Fiend with a toolbox was too much.
I don't know, man.
Fuck that match.
Honestly.
Fuck every part of that match. It ruined Hell in a Cell, it ruined The Fiend, and it ruined babyface Seth Rollins. We got really off topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's still as horrible. That ripped everything away from it.
Yeah, but I would love to see Seth Rollins go into it and against the Wyatts.
Oh, hell yeah. That's all I got, though. You got anything?
Let me just scroll through the rest of this. I don't think I got anything else. You ready for a closeout?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another episode of the AR Wrestling Podcast, Raw and Smackdown review. Yeah. This was a fucking banger of a week. The Wyatts are finally here. Knight's going after the U.S. title. Life is fucking good. Liv Morgan put that hawk tool on that thing when it came to her women's title. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all can follow our socials on X at AR_wrestling_. Our Instagram is at AR_wrestling_. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, even though Chad Gable doesn't say it anymore.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.